What's up, baby? It is AEW Dynamite review time. But first, we get to interview Walter from Journey Pro to go over all our shows or secret shows. This is Total Spotfest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Total Spotfest. I am JJ Brownlee. That right there, that's Jamie Faulkner. We are here to give you an action-packed show. We had the AEW, would you call it the go-home Dynamite for Grand Slam next week?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch, and they announced so much tonight on AEW. Basically, a pay-per-view on TNT next week. So we're gonna get all into it. So we got a lot of stuff going on at AEW, lots of setup things happening, some cool stuff. Also, 2 nights ago was the debut of NXT 2.0. And oh, is it different looking? And things and stuff involved. There was a wrestling wedding we're going to talk about, because who doesn't love a wrestling wedding?
Which made the show.
Right?
I watched that. And then I got the highlights of the other shit, and I'm like, what is this? Like,
yeah.
The most disappointing thing, I'm just going to get right into it. The most disappointing thing about this damn NXT was Mandy Rose is a brunette? What? What? I mean, she still looked dynamite because she is just a goddess. Like, let's just be real. But still, she is a blonde goddess. Like,
it was very interesting. I have a note on her that when we get to NXT, I'll tell you about. But yeah, Brunette Mandy Rose is different looking. There lots of shocking different things going on.
It's a toxic attraction.
Yeah, see the name of what they were is just
is
whatever. God
awful. So Kevin Dunn, you're welcome.
Well, we're gonna get to NXT in a little bit later, so you can tell Jamie loved every second of everything that they're doing over there in Tuesday Night Land. So
I do not.
So. Before we get to that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate. I mean, I didn't expect you to get all hot this early, Jamie. Like, damn,
he God, dude, I
dove right to it.
I
was like, go for the
tried to watch it. I legit got the wedding. I'm like, okay, so I recorded it. So I started watching it a little bit,
right?
And I'm just like, Jesus, this is just hot garbage. And one of the best guys on the mic and one of the best wrestlers that they have jobbed out for Rick Steiner's son. And he was in a title match later that night. What? Like, it made my head hurt. It's just like, it's just one of those moments. Like, what were you thinking? It's like watching the Ravens offense. Like,
Very well said. So like I was trying to say, we will be getting an NXT later. So thank you, Jamie, for starting now.
We're already there.
But no, we're not, because I do want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, like I always say. If you are on YouTube, join the conversation, hit a comment down below. Touch the like button while you're down there. It does help us out quite a bit. If you are listening, you want to join the conversation, you can get us at Total Spotfest on Twitter. So, before we get into talk about NXT or anything else, Jamie just going off script tonight because wrestling's been putting him in a mood today. I don't even know why.
And like Dynamite was fine.
Weird.
I'm just like,
he's being fiddly Jamie. So whatever, it is what it is. But before we get to that, we want to actually cut over, because we did 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, we had another interview with our good friend Walter from over at Journey Pro. So Journey Pro KC's next show is tomorrow night, Friday the 17th, 8 p.m. Edwardsville, Kansas. All of our shows are secret shows. That's the name of the show. It's fan-fucking-tastic. At the Edwardsville City Park. Free show. Donations at the door for a great cause, for the Wyandotte Services Mental Health. I screwed it up again.
Wyandotte Center for Behavioral Health.
I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. It's a very, very, very good charity. It's a very good cause.
They're gonna get some of my money for sure.
Yeah, they're getting a nice good sized bill from me as well. So anyway, so we're gonna cut over. We're gonna give you guys the interview with Walter here that we did. It was a little over an hour. So for those of you listening, if you're not from Kansas City, you don't really care that much, you can skip ahead. There'll be timestamps down below on YouTube as well. But we had a great time chatting with Walter about Journey Pro in general, the show coming up, talking about the card. We played a new Impossible game, which was quite fun. And even talked quite a bit of football. So listen, take a view here. We'll be back in just a little bit, and we'll talk about NXT in full, as well as Dynamite, and set you guys up for next week's AEW Grand Slam pay-per-view. I'm calling it a pay-per-view on TV. It is
Grand Slam.
The Grand Slammy. All right, guys. So we'll be back in just a few minutes here. Check out the interview. And we are back again with our good friend Walter from Journey Pro KC in preparation for tomorrow night's live show outside, not in the sweltering heat. We'll give you the location here in a little bit, but Journey Pro KC, Kansas City's September show. All of our shows are secret shows. It's a fantastic name. I love everything about the kind of like the theming of this show. But Walter is once again back. So thank you, Walter, for giving us some of your time. We weren't sure if we are going to be able to get you in. I know it was a quick turnaround from Weekend at Journeys, but he's going to talk about this. We released the card, Walter did, on Monday. So we're going to talk about the card. We're going to talk about what we're ready for, kind of shoot the shit for a little bit. And Jamie does have a question at the end of everything for Walter, as we do like to play games. So welcome, Walter. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thanks, guys. Always good to be here. One of these times I'm going to have a real microphone, so I don't sound so terrible on your recordings, but today is not that bad.
It's okay. I have a new one since we last talked, and I'm working on it. There's so much. I am not. No, last one. I think I got it figured out. If you heard the last video, it doesn't crackle anymore. The volume's still drastically off, but I am not an audio engineer, and there's a whole lot of like dials and sliders and things and. All right.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, so all our shows are secret shows. We're going to go ahead and spill the location, because I remember the big onus on this was that you can't post on social media and anything. You did give us permission to say it on our vlog here, so we're on our podcast. So we're going to go ahead and say it. It's happening at 8 p.m. this Friday. There's plenty of availability because this is a free show. If you have not heard that yet, it is true. FREE, free show. Now, it is at an awesome spot. So it's in Edwardsville, Kansas, at Edwardsville City Park. Oh, at like 8 p.m. on a fall evening. It's going to be dry, like 65. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be great. So free show, but they are taking donations at the door for Wyandotte County Behavioral Health Services. Did I get that right finally?
Close enough. Yeah.
I got it.
It's the Wyandotte Center for Behavioral Health is what it's called. But you were very close. Very close. So, yeah, I just wanted to say on top of that, I just wanted to add on, like, in addition to taking donations at the show for people who feel that the wrestling was worth spotting a little money for, we will actually be selling dogs and vegetarian dogs and beer at that event, and all profit from that as well also goes to the Wyandotte Center. So basically, awesome. any dime of profit that we make off this show, we donate to the Wyandotte Center. So
that's amazing.
I'm a little questioning the vegetarian dogs. I have no idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Like a hot dog.
Have you never seen like a tofu dog before?
I mean, I probably have. I mean, I did grow up in Central. I did grow up as a kid in Decatur, Illinois, the soybean capital of the world. So, all of our meat in like middle school was all soy. So burgers, soy, pizza, soy, everything soy. So I probably had them, but I don't know. It sounds off to me. I don't know.
They taste about the same, and the funny thing is,
Do
you
they?
actually
I'm going to try one. I've never had one.
you know what's in it. That's the big difference. You actually know what's in it.
It takes some of the stigma out of it, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try. Hey, expand your horizons. So.
I mean, that's just something that we want to do. Like here, like anytime we offer food options, we are trying very hard to make sure that there is like a vegetarian or, if possible, vegan option, because we just try to be as inclusive as possible to everybody's needs.
That's awesome.
I assume we'll probably sell a lot more of the regular dogs and brats than we would that, but we'll have the option, and I want people to know.
That's why Walter runs the promotion, not us, because I would have never thought about that. I'd just be like, "There's hot dogs, have fun, see ya."
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a meat eater by trade, so yes, I would totally just go with the meat. So I actually do.
By trade, you say? Someone pays you?
I know. Well, I'm on the Atkins diet right now, so it's just straight meat right now, pretty much the entire time. So
almost the entire time, Walter. So we went to All Out. I don't know if you heard our recap, but we went to All Out weekend in Chicago. Our first of an annual trip now. We've committed. We're in. We're doing this every year. But Jamie and I drove up Friday, did the whole thing. We went to a GCW show at 11 o'clock at night. Fan Fest, drove into town, went to Pro Wrestling Tees store, All Out side party, All Out, met the whole 9 yards, right? And Jamie's big thing as we're coming up, as we're leaving, I went and picked him up, and on our way out, he's like, "It's my cheat weekend," and boy, did he stick through with that. We had
had Mexican food on the way up, which was amazing.
Every city we went past with the for the best rated Mexican food. We had, of course, deep dish pizza, Italian beef. Subs. I got White Castle. I ate more this weekend than I think I have in the past 3 months, and I'm not
same. What? You're the one who won the White Castle.
White Castle is a dangerous road food. Having been on a lot of not because of gastro distress, but because if you eat that in the car, it makes your car smell like fucking shit. The onions and that thing smells so nasty. You better eat every drop of that, because if you have any leftover White Castle, you're in trouble. Did you eat at Portillo's while you were in Chicago? That's something wrestlers always do.
We did not.
Okay.
But we did eat at Giordano's, and we met Danhausen outside of Giordano's out of character.
Oh, that's funny. You met Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan.
Donovan.
Right. You didn't meet Danhausen. How did you recognize him?
He had a tank top on. So
tank top with tattoos. And
I was because it was like a 30-minute wait or whatever. So we go stand outside. It's a nice night, and we're standing out there, and I'm facing one way vaping, and he's facing the other way. We're just shooting the shit, and he just goes, "That's Danhausen," and I'm like, turn around, and sure as shit, because you could tell his tattoos. So Jamie does a quaint little thing to get attention.
I go, "Hey, your shirt's very nice, very evil." And he just knew that we knew who he was, and he just came over and legit talked to us for like 20 minutes, just out of the blue. It was really cool moment. Like, we didn't ask for autographs or pictures. We didn't do that full on Mark thing. We just was like, this is a great moment. Let's just talk wrestling with one of the biggest independent names in the United States and Canada, for that matter. Like right now, he is dominating, especially on merchandise.
And he was there. He wrestled both the GCW shows. He did it with Warhorse, who we're going to put a pin in that. He did it with Warhorse, the show that we went to. And then he did the show the next night, the show where Moxley won the title. He did the Four Faces of Danhausen thing. Mm-hmm. And then he is doing like toy hunts with Ethan and other stuff and whatever. But it was cool. It was great, especially because he knows so many people that we've seen through Journey Pro. Of course, Warhorse, Everett Connors, so on and so forth. And then, Jamie had to give the, hey, come to Journey Pro sometime, wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing to him. So
Yes. Definitely pimped you out to him.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, Dan, we actually have talked in the past. We just never were able to put anything together. So,
well,
that'd be
we
a
shall
great
see.
moment. If it ever happens, that'd be a great moment. Hopefully,
Jamie's
it works
two
out someday.
requirements were Italian beef sandwich and deep dish pizza. So maybe next year we do Portillo's. That sounds like
The line was insane when we were there, so we're like, I'm out. Like it was just ridiculous just to even get in the place.
It was.
I wasn't committed to all that.
I don't blame you. When I was in Chicago for All In, I went to a place that I knew back when I used to live in Chicago. And sadly it is gone. I knew of a perfect deep dish pizza place that is really a weird like 1960s like antique store / pizza place.
Oh, cool.
But it's kind of deep into the north side, and I think weren't all those events like out by like Hoffman Estates, like out in the suburbs?
They're in the burbs.
Yeah, it's like an hour trip to get to where the places I liked were, because I only knew places that were within like walking distance of the L train. Because I just lived in the city and I didn't go outside much. But I've definitely been out to that. That's where we were, was out at that, because I think that's where, like Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates is where All In was too.
Right, I think that's where it's going to continue to be at the Now Arena, unless they move it to United one day, because we had other things that we had earmarked that we would like to do. I mean, I said when I was a kid I lived in Illinois, so I went up to Chicago plenty, but Jamie's never been to Wrigley Field, and I'm like, well, shit, you have to go there once, and so I think next year we can plan some stuff maybe a little better, figure it out. We wanted to go to Galloping Ghost, and we didn't get, because that's once you talk
the arcade,
that's like an hour drive, right?
It is, because those are down south there pretty significantly.
Right. Well, we drove to Pro Wrestling Tees, and that was about an hour, but so
because that's pretty darn close to like Logan Square. It's where
it's just west of Lincoln Park, actually. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on Damon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Used to live up in the blue line off of Damon there. It's that's a haul in from like Schaumburg though.
It is, but on a Saturday it wasn't terrible. It wasn't nearly as bad. So.
No, it's still going to be a long drive there and back.
It is. Hey,
that's cool. Wrigley feels so different now, man, from when we were kids. Like it's so gentrified. All the cool shit there is gone. Like the alley's gone. Like all the weird like curio sex shops are gone. Like Wrigleyville is now just yuppies. It's really Wrigleyville is really sad now.
I had a girlfriend graduated college, and she was from Chicago, moved back to their Chicago spot in Wrigleyville. And, we were still kind of, whatever. So I saw her a few times, and it was awesome. But I remember, because that was my first baseball game ever. I lived in Illinois, and that was my first baseball game in late 80s. Cubs Dodgers. We sat first baseline about 30 rows back, give or take. And literally, you get off the L train, you get there, and at the time there was nothing to really like take a 9-year-old around to outside of Wrigleyville that time. I think there was like across the street they had the one bar that's now just fucking massive, right? And the one on the corner there, like right outside the big red sign. And then there was like a little Cubs shop, and then there's a couple like little tiny places to get a quick bite, But now it's just all over the place, like Power and Light to the nth degree.
All yuppie shit.
Yep.
No, they had that diner there right off of the Belmont, or is it? Is it the Belmont stop that's there?
I think it's Clark.
There's Clark, and then there's Addison, depending on which way you're coming. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Clark is the stop I'm thinking of, though, where the diner was and like where Ann Sather is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we're just talking about Chicago.
Let's talk about Chicago. Yeah. Anyway, so it was good fun.
Everybody has tuned out thanks to.
They're sitting there as like Jamie and JJ did this like 2 episodes ago. All right, so let's.
But in all seriousness, no. I sent you a message after you messaged me the address. about the difference in crowd at GCW versus Journey Pro and how I appreciated your vibe so much more. And that show was intense. Like, I've never been to a independent show that was like cranked to 11. Like, everybody was so invested. Like, I had to get patted down in order to get in. That just sets the tone of the
And
show.
we were
And
there on the Tamer of the 2 nights. Yes.
yes. And there's just that different vibe. And if you would, I know you've talked about before, but you've always wanted to have a different vibe than just a typical wrestling vibe. And we really appreciate, now that we've completely seen the two polar opposites, if you could just spend some time like explaining like what you're trying to go for at your typical Journey Pro show.
Absolutely. So, I mean, since you specifically mentioned GCW, like one of the things that they have that I think everybody wants is that they have that basically kind of fanatical dedication to that brand and have cultivated that very, very strongly to where people feel like really connected to it as a company. And that energy can be good. You have to kind of make sure that you focus it. But I've had this conversation before. The way that we know that we're succeeding personally at Journey Pro is, I'll just lay it out as frankly as possible, is that our goal is to sell 50% of our tickets to like women or non-binary people. That's how you know you're succeeding. That is, if you break everything down to what you're trying to measure, that's what it is. Because, you know, if you have the 95% male demographic show, it tends to be it tends to get a little more aggressive and testosterone heavy. And you know you're doing something like cooler and hip if you can get women to come and feel comfortable at your show. How's that for a short, distinct answer to it? That's the vibe that we want.
Yeah, inclusivity, you know.
Yeah, totally. And that's the one that's hardest for wrestling companies to meet.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't always true.
I think you guys do. I think you guys do a hell of a job of it. Hell, at Weekend Journeys, one of the best fans of the night was going after Jeremy White, was a woman just going after him. And I'm like, she's my spirit animal. Like, she was just after him the whole time. And it's like, I love that. Like, everybody's just in it together, loving wrestling here. Whereas GCW has definitely felt more sausage fest, testosterone driven, very intense. It was, even though there was a mix of women, of course, but it definitely had a different feel and vibe. Where yours is, I wouldn't say it's laid back. I would definitely say it's just more like embracing, I guess is probably the best way to put it. I can't describe it really in articulately. You know, it's such a fun show and completely different from anything I've ever been to. And I think that's why I'm addicted to it like a drug. Like, it's like so good. Like, I can't, you have to experience it. So again, go Friday, go tomorrow, go to this show. Like, you will thank yourself.
Do it.
Yeah. You know, DJ and I always have, there's an ethos that we live by when it comes to Journey Pro. And I think this ties back to your original question well, which is we say, we aren't trying to sell violence. We're trying to sell fun. Violence, you know, as it comes in the form of like the wrestling show, is just a delivery vehicle for the fun. And I think that's where a lot of companies go wrong. It's like you're selling an experience. You're not selling just, you know, because then that's when you see like clips and stuff, like when people are promoting their shows, they just show their most violent spots. It's like, I want to see like people having fun. I want to see people like with a drink in your hand, if you so indulge. I want to see people like seeing their friends and like really enjoying this together and getting that sort of mutual catharsis. That's the point. That's the aim right there. That's the end game. The violence is secondary. And if you attempt to sell violence, if that's what people want, there's better ways to get violence. Just go watch MMA or like, I don't know, kickboxing or something.
Yeah, I think that in the scope, if you would, in the wrestling promotion world, there's room for a violent promotion too. But when everything is that, That's when you get the saturation where it's just like, here's another thing where it's nothing but light tubes and doors and all this stuff. It's like, it's well, I know that back when you guys were at Kansas Hall, we had several times we would bring other friends. I had a friend of mine from high school who was in from out of town. He came in for your November show in 19, and he had a total blast. Never seen wrestling show in his life,
Awesome.
And total blast, right? He's in Seattle, so he's not going to come to your shows very often, but he got a good impression of what a live wrestling show is. We had female friends, coworkers of ours that we brought, and they had a blast, even though they're like, this is going to suck. Oh my God, it's going to suck. And they're like, that was pretty fun. Like, yes, it was. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I love the besties. They loved the besties.
What's not to love there? But
yeah, I mean, a little sweaty Vega. Why not?
Well, I mean, it's not really a question of like the content, because what you're talking about there is more like, say, a different genre of movie than you are talking about actually like. It's more about the experience of getting people to go to the theater, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to see a horror movie, an action movie, a comedy, a rom-com, whatever. All those different types of wrestling can be represented by a different genre. It's about what the experience is like when you go to that by yourself, or when you go to that as like a group of friends. That's the difference we're talking about here. And I think you can enjoy all of those types of movies for the most part as groups. There are sometimes I just want to go to a movie and like really like sink my teeth into like something like really heavy by myself, no question. But Journey is more selling the experience of, being with people you like and having that like shared experience, like taking up that entire row. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, hell, case in point, like I can barely name any of the moves that happen at Journey Pro. Like obviously there's no Lion Tamer, but
there was no Lion Tamer.
Dallas Cage may be your savior. Dallas, if you're listening,
I'm trying to get him.
Remember our previous conversation.
But
it's a whole shoot. Don't worry.
To your point though, is like the fun aspect, like the do you like butt stuff by Heidi Howitzer was arguably the funniest thing, and it's the most memorable moment because it was so damn funny. And then we happened to talk to the Iceman afterwards.
I was gonna say Iceman coming in as the twice into the thing.
So memorable. It was like I appreciate the hell out of that. It's like I don't need to see barbed wire and people going through tables every damn week. Like give me a Canadian Destroyer, give me something fun to watch, give me like some fun things that you guys have done a lot, and just like let's have a good time together. And that's definitely the vibe that I finally figured it out. That is definitely the vibe. That is just, it's all about good times and just free love, man, but not to that level. You know what I mean? Like just everybody's just there to love, and just it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Love wrestling. But hey, can we talk about the card?
Yeah, well, let's talk about the card here. Let's talk about the show itself. Okay, so another outside show. You mentioned last time that you're trying to, you're trying to, at least for the short term until it gets too cold, keep those shows outside. So
dodge the COVID, guys. Let's just say it. We're playing
it's because of COVID, and I appreciate that. I'm not antsy to get in and go, elbows to assholes with 600 people, and so I'm cool with that. So now I know that on Saturday you guys are going to be at the Edwardsville Fall Festival doing a shortened kind of PG, family friendly display of wrestling, if you would,
Totally.
So did that come first, and this just kind of fit the bill to go in at Edwardsville City Park because of that, or were you purposely looking to try and bridge them together? I know doing back-to-back days for logistics, it makes it easier if you're within a certain area, right? But yes. What was the antithesis for getting on the 17th at the City Park in Edwardsville?
No, I mean you nailed it. We had the Autumn Fest first, and that was something they wanted us to do actually in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So we had been booked for that festival last year, but unfortunately that festival did not occur.
Like any festivals last year.
Yes, did not occur. So we got this one. Yeah, and then it kind of came together naturally that like doing it as like a secret location nearby. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping that enough people see us who really like it and don't have anything going on Saturday that we're going to use it to help promote their little Autumn Fest over there, because that's also free. But this is the 17th one, of course, is the full Journey Pro experience. It continues our storylines. It's within canon, whereas the one on the 18th is not. The one on the 18th, that's always a mistake when companies try to do festivals where there's family that aren't super like intimately familiar with their product. They try to do like elaborate storyline stuff.
Yeah.
Like outside of the ring, it's stupid. You just want to get people in there and work the kids, basically.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You want to work the kids.
Yeah, like I have a 6-year-old daughter who's been banging me up to go to a wrestling event because she wants to be like her older daughter, who happens to be our pay-per-view champion out of 3 of the 4 brands. But she's just been banging me up like, I want to go to AEW when it comes to town. I'm like, girl, I'm not paying for you to go to AEW. Like, I don't even know if you like wrestling yet. And it's like when you guys found out that when you said you're having this thing at Journey Pro, doing it at Edwardsville, and it's free, I'm like, oh my God, I could possibly bring my daughter to this like during the day. And if she's like, she could do that and go ride some rides and get her face painted and like just do it all up and like introduce her to wrestling in a different environment. Like, as long as her soccer's done in time, I think we'll be able to get there. But, like, it's awesome. Like, it's just, I really like the fact that you're going to reach out to even more people. And it's a hell of an idea.
Oh, thank you. We're really excited to do it. This is the first festival show that we've gotten to do. And we actually have more of these kind of things coming, believe it or not.
Awesome.
Oh.
So we're getting to be like a traveling entertainment brand around the Kansas City metro. We're
veritable Barnum and Bailey's of the squared circle.
That's exciting to me, but we'll talk about those here in the next couple weeks because more of that stuff is coming. And
kick ass.
Yeah,
you wrestle at Renfest. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun, actually. They're over though now, right? Don't they go through like Labor Day or like?
They go through the 17th now. They go the week after Labor Day or week after Columbus Day now.
Gotcha.
I mean, Redfest should definitely be in the fall. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it starts at Labor Day and it ends at Columbus Day, so it used to, but now they're going an extra week.
Right. Well, I think it should go longer.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's talk about the card. Let's talk about the card.
Sorry.
So,
Gotcha.
Thanks to the Chiefs, we can give Chiefs credit there, I guess. You were able to, and as a Steeler fan, I'm appreciative because yes, please beat the Browns as many times as possible. But you did give out the card on Monday, and we went over it on our show last time we recorded. But my God, you didn't hold anything back here, Walter. This card is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I might have held something back yet. I'll just say that there are more. There are potential surprises on the card. So. Oh man! But I did give away the majority of what had planned. Like, just put it out there. I'm a man of my word. I made a bet, and I've seen that too many times, man. I've seen that too many times with the Chiefs.
You are. Hey, back up a little bit. There you go. Sorry.
All right, so let's run through it. So the very first match you announced here was the premiere. That's Campbell Myers, SK Bishop, and Camaro Jackson versus Trevor Outlaw, Angel Escalera, and Darian Bankston, who we've seen Darian Bankston a few times. And SK Bishop is Quadzilla, right? That's the guy's Quadzilla?
Camaro Jackson.
Camaro, that's right.
Quadzilla.
Yeah, I remember seeing him when he did the Zello Pro show, or the crossover. His legs, he is legit Quadzilla. I've never seen legs that big in my whole entire life.
Totally. Yeah, he and Kenny Alfonso used to be a team in Kansas City called Alpha Omega.
Yeah,
you remember them?
Mm-hmm.
That was a few years ago now. So
if I remember right, the premiere they build themselves from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, as long as it's Bishop and Campbell Myers, that's correct. They are from Kansas City.
They are because they were from Kansas. Yeah.
Yes, Cam Jackson's from St. Louis, but
what it was.
He went to college here in Kansas City, so it's still
potato.
It still works out. So yeah, they're Kansas City based. We'll call them.
So this next match is arguably one of the ones I'm looking most forward to, and that's Warhorse versus Kevin Koo.
That was the first match for this card, actually.
Oh my God. Like, I mean, you got Warhorse who rules
great.
ass, you know, and then Kevin Koo from MLW. It's like, Jesus, like that's got badass written all over it.
It's
Yes.
most metal match of the night. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm excited. Well, you know, I kind of viewed it as like an interesting crossover between like a guy who has a very punk rock ethos versus a guy who has a very like 80s metal ethos. I kind of viewed it as a clash of like musical styles, if anything.
I dig it like hell.
This is the third appearance for both.
Okay.
And no, I'm sorry. This is Warhorse's fourth appearance for Journey Pro, and this is Kevin Koo's third.
Ah.
I don't think we've ever seen Kevin Koo.
I think we have. I think we've seen him. Yeah.
I know we definitely see Warhorse twice. He jumped off of the bar right beside us like twice. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, when he wrestled Aaron Williams.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were headbanging.
So Koo was on our very first show and faced Gary J.
Oh.
And that was the same. Warhorse was also on that show. He wasn't called Warhorse yet. He was called like the Warhorse Jake Parnell. He was not yet just Warhorse in all caps. He faced Ricky Starks on that show.
Ah.
The current FEW champion.
I would like to see Ricky Starks and Warhorse.
We didn't know what we had then. Those guys were way bigger at the time. But Koo did wrestle Shotzi Blackheart on one of the shows.
That would have been a good one to see.
So
yeah, most definitely.
So we did that, and yeah, this is his return, and this is Warhorse's return, first time post pandemic. So that should be really excellent. Should be a lot of fun.
That'd be a fun match.
I like to call the next one the Man Meat main event. And
this is
the one called Manders versus Moonshine Mantel. Like that's a lot of guy.
That's a lot of beef in the ring at once, you know.
Yeah.
No vegan dogs in the ring for them. So that's for sure.
That's some big meaty men slapping me. That's Big E would say.
Shout out to the new WWE champ there. Nice. But that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a good.
That one could steal the show just because of how rough and tough that one could be. And actually, I gotta give a big shout out to Dallas Cade. Like he says, you know, Moonshine wants to make sure it's snug, and I was like, I've never heard that before. And yeah, like you could hear everything he does, and like his chops, his forearms to the back, like all of them just sound like they hurt like hell. And it's just, I'm looking forward to that one because it looks like Manders is the exact same way. So this is gonna be a really fun match.
I'm excited.
Manders is a new T-shirt, by the way, for sale, Jamie. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it's like a Motorhead inspired. It's got like a Hawkeye skull because he's from Iowa, and
of course,
Manders with the double umlauts and stuff. It's pretty badass.
Is it black though?
Of course, it's black. It's a wrestling T-shirt. What the fuck do you think?
Well, I'm wearing a white Bullet Club shirt today.
I know. That's why we were so happy that Journey Pro, when 78 weeks later, had no black shirts that they were selling. It had blue, white, and orange. Like,
yeah, I'm so out on black shirts right now. I'm trying not to, even though we bought like 3 black shirts this weekend.
I bought so many black shirts.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid.
Yeah. All right. So then we have a triple threat with, I believe, 2 debuts of Christy Janes versus Laney Luck, the returning Laney Luck, and then versus Sarah the Rebel, which
who is my second spirit animal now. Falaba is my first spirit animal, and she has become my second because I looked up all the new people, the debuting people after you made the announcements, Walter, and her Twitter is fantastic. I think she's hilarious. I love it. So I love awesome. That kid. So
yeah, she does like comic book authoring and stuff like that.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
She's dope. I had met her because we played during the pandemic. We actually played like role playing games together for fundraising.
Oh, okay.
That's actually how I met Shug as well.
Huh?
Shug and Sarah the Rebel, and Dark Sheik from Hood Slam / GCW.
Oh yeah.
Like a bunch of. We had a really a unique group. Jake Something played once.
Nice.
Yeah, just a bunch of we were just dorking out, wrestlers dorking out. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
Sarah is awesome, and it was nice because it was something we wanted to do, and she's actually retiring from in-ring action at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
So
Really?
I wanted to make sure that Sarah got a Journey Pro chance before she moved on just to commentating and ring announcing, which is the way that she's going. But
So
she's incredible and a really nice person, and I'm really excited. And Christy James is incredibly awesome. I hope you found out good things about.
We were familiar with her. She's been on Dark before. She was at Empower for NWA. So she's got good buzz on her. Lenny Luck, of course, we knew, from before.
And Love.
And Zella Pro and Love, and Jamie loves her intro. God, he loves that song so much.
It's so terrible. It's great. Like it's one of those ones. It's like
stuck in his head for a week. It's fantastic.
It's like the first time I heard it, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it's like, it's stuck. Like I have to hear, that damn song, and I will listen to it till my heart's content now, because like I'm addicted to it now. I don't know what to say. Like it's so bad, it's good.
I understand. I hear you.
Now, Lainey, has she moved on? Does she still do some? Because I know that she dropped the Zella Pro Championship a little bit ago to Jordan Grace, but is she still kind of doing stuff with Zella Pro? I mean, she'd been doing things, I know, MLW, and then starting to a little bit AEW and some other stuff like that. Do you know if she's still hanging out in the Midwest more, or is this just kind of like a swing by?
Yeah. No, she still lives in the Midwest.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, she still lives in Chicago, where she's always lived, and
All
she
right,
still does stuff with. She still definitely does stuff with Zello.
Oh, good.
And
good.
it's So that hasn't changed in that way. So this is the first time we've gotten to be able to have her come down. It's been very difficult to our first couple of dates. Like we had to get a few women on the card has been really nice, because we had a bunch of them we lost at 78 weeks later, and then we had a bunch of women that we lost because it turned out that NWA Empower ended up being, or not, the NWA ended up being the same day as our show. So this has been nice. This is 3 people that I think very, very highly of, and I'm hoping that we have return. Sarah's a limited window, but we'll see what she can do. But Lainey and Christy James certainly.
Yeah, they're definitely on the way up. Yeah, it'd be good to see her on one of her final matches. That's awesome. So cool. I'm excited about that. I love seeing good women's wrestling too. So I'm glad we were able to score some schedule clearance for this show.
Cool. Yeah, me too, man. Really.
So the next match we have Luke Langley, half of the Enlightenment, who absolutely showed out in his singles match. He looked great versus Cody Lane, which we've seen Cody before.
Yeah, we've seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his first time in Journey, but he's been around the Midwest for quite a while. This is finally his debut, and this should be a really good fit. Cody's very versatile. He does stuff up in Chicago a lot. He's been on TV, and so probably some of the stuff you've seen there. But this is kind of like Mike is out for this show, and Luke is kind of getting more chances to show what he can do on his own. And I think that, like you said, coming off of the match with Davey Vega, I think everybody really is starting to see Luke Langley in a whole new light, I hope.
Right.
Not just a tag guy.
Yeah. I remember for 78 weeks later, he was originally billed in a singles match, or was it a triple threat or something? But it wasn't an Enlightenment, because he was doing his different gimmick too. He wasn't doing the yoga gimmick.
Right, but things change.
However he does it, it's good to see him by himself. Stand by himself, because that's always the question when you see somebody you always see as a tag guy. It's like, can they do it? It's like, it also vice versa. So I'm a big fan. Luke's been great. I love him. So.
Well, I mean, Mike is. We were kind of booking Mike on a little bit of a singles run. We knew that the Sedals and Besties were going to happen going into 78 weeks later. We already booked that match, but so we were kind of trying to say, okay, let's get Luke Langley out there and like show what he can do on his own as a singles competitor leading into that. But Mike, bless his heart, like the nicest guy in the world. Like, there's no reason in BSing it. There's a good chance that he is going to end up wrestling full time out of a company out of Florida sooner rather than later at this point in his career. And so he wasn't sure. He really wanted to team with Luke again because he wasn't sure how many times the Enlightenment would have that chance to do it again. And they'd been out for, so I was happy to give that to him for sure. Because, you know, I'm a big fan of both guys, but now this is Luke's direction, sort of. He's kind of getting to feel his oats and do it on his own. And I think that this is a really cool opportunity for him.
Oh, it is. It is. And I think a Lion Tamer would be an absolutely great finisher for him for his first win. So if he can plant that seed, that'd be absolutely great.
All right, I will let him know.
He's like, probably,
you got to tweet all these people individually, Jamie.
Oh, I know.
Come on.
Like, I got slide those DMs. How about a Lion Tamer? Speaking of Lion Tamers,
there you go.
Dallas Cade, our heavy metal heartthrob here, going against JDX. I'm looking forward to this one.
Debut for JDX and Junior Pro.
Yep, that was kind of a later ad actually.
Really?
We found out. This has been great, man. This is what's been going on with Journey recently. Is the JDX like Darian was going to drive up, you know, for the show because he's going to see his family because he's originally from here. He lives in Atlanta. And next thing you know, we got a DM from JDX like, "Hey, I want to hop in the car with Darian." I'm like, "Okay, let's do that.
On in.
Let's do that."
He's out of Deep South Wrestling too, right?
He's out of Southeast, like around the Atlanta area.
Yeah, it's down Georgia. So yeah.
So I'm never going to turn that down. That guy's incredible.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
I mean,
real good.
I mean, honestly, that's how Alan Angels ended up here. Alan Angels just was like, "Hey, can I like come up to Journey and work?" I'm like, "Sure, Alan 5 Angels, you sure can."
Yeah,
bring your Dark Order theme, and yes.
I mean, so that's a really good. I take that like as a point of pride. I'm really like honored by that there's people who like want to come to Journey that badly.
Yeah,
that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So
that's really cool.
And Darian is, you know, a fantastic dude, except in the ring where he's a huge shithead. But as a person, love him.
Good person, bad character. No,
yes,
it's not bad.
Exactly. So,
well, Jamie's been pestering Dallas to do it, and Dallas is like, "I should do that." No, what I should do is I should find you and start to do it, and then just leave you hanging and continue that on for like 4 shows in a row. And I'm like, yes,
which I would love because I'm a big fan of long-term storytelling. So, like, let's just go. Like
everyone else at the show, but popping you, that's good business right there.
I know. I mean, it's a fantastic joke, you know. So, all right. What else we got?
So then we have one of the best tag teams out there, Thumbs and Buns, going against Merc and the Huntsman, Jay Martin, which we've seen the Merc before. He was in the triple threat at 78 Weeks Later.
Yes.
But the Huntsman, is this a first time for him?
Nope. He was in the Scramble at 78 Weeks Later.
Oh,
he was one of the guys in there with the Scramble. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Yep, I remember him now. He looked familiar. I just couldn't place it. So.
Yeah. And Merc, of course, the artist formerly known as Graham Bell.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Coming full on by Merc, and he's leaning fully into his gimmicked bazooka.
Yeah,
the
bazooka's fantastic. Like I was getting a beer. I remember like when his entrance was, and got the beer. I turned around. He just fired it. I'm like, he just fired the bazooka inside. Okay, that's awesome.
He did it at Kansas too. He did it.
Oh, he did.
Well, he did it. Yeah, that's his thing. So yeah, definitely love me some Graham Bell. So that should be a lot of fun. I don't think a couple of those guys have ever worked before, but you know, it makes sense. I think we got ourselves a little growing tag team there in terms of we got ourselves our little paramilitary group on the other side.
I mean, there is a tag team tournament going on, so I mean,
there is definitely a tag team tournament coming very soon. So maybe
just
this
saying.
is the. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Thunder buns are always great.
And so, is the actual tournament starting then in October?
Yes.
Okay, because I know
That's
you
awesome.
plan to conclude them at Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie, which I fucking love that name. Thank you. So that
Thank.
awesome. But
Yes.
so those are all starting in October. Gotcha. Okay.
God willing, we eventually get to There Is No Die Hard 6. That's our eventual plan, is to take that to its logical conclusion and have the company last long enough to be able to say There Is No Die Hard 6.
I have faith in all you Journey Pro heads out there. So
Yes, for sure. All right, so this match right here, I might call it as this might steal the show. I'm pretty confident this is going to steal the show. And JJ Garrett versus GPA. The soon to be Mr. Laney Luck, if you will. They are engaged. But yes, GPA, we've seen him when he came with Zello. He was amazing then. And of course, we know what we got with JJ Garrett.
We love
this match should be
Garrett.
Amazing.
He's been on fire lately in all the promotions he's been running around in. So I'm happy to see him again. This is gonna be great.
Heck yeah, we were supposed to have him, of course, for 78 weeks later. Then we had a booking conflict on August 28th. He was supposed to be there for that, but he also he had an opportunity there's no heat or anything. He had an opportunity that was too good to pass up. He wrestled Lee Moriarty at Freelance on the 28th. So I wasn't going to tell him to not do that. I'll always tell guys to do that if they have an opportunity like that. And I'm glad he did, because now Lee Moriarty is obviously signed to AEW. So a last chance.
That's a pretty cool one.
Garrett. Everybody loves Garrett. I'm super excited to have him back.
I'm happy to see him, because I think it's another one too that we might not get to see in the very near future.
Much longer. Well, speaking of not probably seeing him for very much longer, the co-main event of Jeremy Wyatt versus one Kenny Alfonso for the Gateway Heritage Championship under Pure Wrestling rules.
Of course.
This match is going to be amazing. Is this the first time Kenny and Jeremy have gone head to head in a Journey Pro ring?
Yes, it is.
Because I know they went at each other once in NWL, I think.
Boy, I don't remember that, but that's very possible. I don't remember if they wrestling the Foundation. Was it Kenny and was it Alpha Omega? Oof.
Yeah,
that's going back there a ways, man.
Yeah,
that's very possible. Man, Kenny Alfonso was probably 21 when that was happening. He might have been 20.
He was skinny.
Yeah, he's This will be this is a really incredible opportunity for Kenny, and of course this is his one of his two rewards, because just to walk people back through Ticket to Ride, is that winning tickets along the way got you entries into the title tournaments, but whoever was the last survivor got a match with the Gateway Heritage Champion, who, of course, not shockingly, turned out to be Jeremy Wyatt at the next show. So this is the first of two rewards, because Kenny will still be in that title tournament as well.
Yeah, doesn't he get a bye too?
And I'll post more of that after we get through the 17th show as to how many tickets each person got, and therefore who earns the buys and what tournament they're in. But Kenny had 4 tickets at the end, and Manders was second with 3. Yeah. So whichever tournament Kenny decides to enter, whether he's in the tag tournament or the singles tournament, he'll have a first round bye.
That's awesome.
Jamie did call it when we were talking about the Monday night after they were announced. He did call. He shot the shot that Kenny is going to take the belt off of Wyatt. So a bold statement for a man who's held the belt for 3.5 years now, or something stupid.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
I think it's over 1,000 days, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
So
Kenny is so hot right now, though. He is lava hot, he's
stupid hot. He is.
He's, it doesn't have the long-term storytelling that some may have, but he's got the momentum behind him. I would not be surprised if Kenny Alfonso comes away with this and eventually maybe gets the championship for Journey Pro as well.
The Journey Championship. Yeah.
Double champion. Oh, you're making even bolder claims, Jamie. Damn.
That's a pretty incredible. That would be a pretty incredible achievement for sure. We haven't really talked since Ticket to Ride. Were you surprised with how that all came out? 'Cause I don't think we did a post.
I was. We did.
No, we didn't.
We did a post with the Bruisers Breakdown and Beards guys.
Yeah.
So we had Dallas and Kevin and Mike, and so I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, I love Kenny Alfonso, but I didn't place him getting 4 tickets and winning the whole thing. So I didn't know who I thought it was, but I think overall it was a ton of fun. Gauntlet matches are cool as hell anyway, but you had enough mixed in with some great pairings, and everything flowed really well. It didn't feel like it took about an hour for the whole Ticket to Ride, right?
Yeah, it came in 3 minutes under the anticipated time. It was like at 61 minutes. I was anticipating taking an hour. It's like Royal Rumble long. There's 16 people in it one-on-one.
Right. But it just feel like I didn't think so, Jamie. I didn't think it fit.
No, it was. I thought it was great, and the new people that we got introduced to there, like Trevor Aeon, that guy is cool. Like I was like, I don't get his gimmick until I saw it. I'm like, I get his gimmick, and I'm here for it.
Trevor's dope. That was another really exciting bit for us there. But
yeah,
the way you ended it too was fantastic.
Thank you. Frontman Jaw is awesome.
Frontman Jaw. Oh my God, I want more of him in my life. He is charismatic as hell.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him for every show. I actually reached out to him earlier today.
Hell,
I want him to be an every show guy.
I'm all for that.
I'll support it.
Yeah, he's great. He's
other than my sunburn. I mean, it was a fantastic show.
Yeah, that's the rub right there, isn't it? So let's just pull the curtain back on that just a tiny bit, and let's talk about like behind the scenes stuff, because we can do that here, right? You guys don't care if we go outside. I think we're all adults here. We can handle the discussion. So Ticket to Ride is to this point the most fun thing I've gotten to like put together in wrestling. Like that was like my thing pretty much from top to bottom. And I did that whole match and put it together the way it was. And I was super excited by that. But it was really risky because I wanted people to be ready for a surprise, because obviously what happened at the very beginning is that the two clear favorites get like fucked over like right out the gate.
I know.
So, and I was really hoping, it's like, man, I really hope I get a reaction to this. Like, I hope this gets heat.
It got heat.
It got heat. So it worked exactly like the way that I wanted to. And then I would hope, okay, I hope people are patient and realize that this isn't, the end of this. Like, this is not how this stops. I'm not going to give away anything more than that, other than to know that it's not like, Monday Night Raw was ripped up by Vince 10 minutes before it went on the air. There was actually like a plan. But the plan was like, okay, if we get this and we get, this incredible like anger and fervor with these 4 guys here, then by the time we get close to the end, I want to take people on that like real emotional journey. And by the time they get back with Kenny at the end, now you get a big.
They're back up, right?
Exactly. And I thought it worked exactly like I wanted it to.
That pop when he won, it was beautiful. Like it got loud there.
It was a big.
The thing was like the way it's spaced out there. Like you couldn't really like. It was harder to get chants going there. Personally, because we tried. Because everybody's more spread out this one, but man, when he won, like everybody got excited. Like it was so awesome. Like it was very good storytelling. Like
kids coming up to him afterwards and everything, and it was like, yeah, hell yeah.
I know. I felt really bad because we had like 2 kids sitting behind us, like we were doing the Gary J chant. Like, Gary fucking J. It's like, oh,
sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm still going to go inside when that happened. I think that would have been real loud.
That would have been.
If we had been like inside Kansas, that would have been boisterously loud. But yeah, the outside definitely sucks, makes that difficult.
It
Which,
was
hey,
still
that's a
very
trade-off.
loud,
You
though.
know, you want to be safe and
Yes.
do all this, and
Yeah.
maybe some of the optics are a little off, right? Or the audible's a little bit off, but
Yeah,
you
they
can
do.
still feel it. You can feel the vibe when he won. I think that's the bigger thing.
Yes.
Maybe you couldn't hear it because we were spread out, but you could feel that vibe.
I could definitely feel it all the way up there on the stage because I did ring announcing for that one because
Which
that
you did
match was
amazing
complicated.
at, by
You
the
did great.
way.
Oh,
and
really?
You should do
Thank
that
you.
more often.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't pull that out very often, but it was a complicated match, so I wanted to make sure that I had that one. And, you know, DJ Lee is awesome, but he's still kind of younger as a ring announcer. He's more of a musician than that. But he's a long-term part. But this leads into what we're talking about with Kenny and Jeremy, and that's pretty dope. Excited.
So you kind of already hinted at it then, Jamie. The main event of the show. Probably.
Speaking of main event from the beginning of Ticket to Ride.
Let's talk about long-term booking, because this is a little over 2 years. Yeah, 2.5 years in the making, and in reality, real time, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This was something that was happening before the shutdown. This is the only story we really continued.
Mm-hmm. And
I love that, because
this is a great one, because I'm a huge Howlett's fan anyway. But yeah, we have the Howlett's going against Gary J and Christian Rose. Ooh, like this is going to have everything
about this whole everything. All four.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
It was the obvious thing to do, which does not make it the wrong thing. It makes it, sometimes that's the correct thing to do. This is the obvious thing. So I don't know if you guys saw this on social media. I think it's worth saying again here. So before that match takes place, Journey Pro has decided to give compensatory tickets to both to Christian Rose and Gary J.
Yeah. Good. I was going to ask you about that after we. Okay, good.
So that's going to take place in the ring. We're going to present them with tickets for Ticket to Ride because of the interference of the Howlett's.
Well, then the Howlett's are going to get pissed, and then they're going to come out, and they'll be like, well, we want one. And then it's like, fight us for them. And then there you go.
They were not, they came out of order just to basically wreck Christian Rose and Gary J. The Howlett's get nothing. The Howlett's get nothing.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. Nothing.
You even lose a T in your name. Jamie's going to keep spelling your name.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's like, damn it.
You can make a reasonable argument for why we're giving Gary and Christian tickets.
You can. Absolutely can.
They got screwed.
Why the Howlett's get tickets.
I mean, they were literally being held from getting back in the ring by Anaya and Hoodie.
Right.
So
yeah. And you can't disqualify either of them because they both got attacked simultaneously.
Right.
So who gets the DQ in those cases? The Howlett's knew what they were doing, is my point. The Howlett's intentionally took advantage of the rules to make sure that both guys got screwed.
That's what they do. Hashtag heel shit.
Yep, exactly. So yes, and that match is going to be Falls Count Anywhere.
Which I love that too. I can't wait for you. Did you not catch that, Jamie?
No, I missed that.
Oh yeah.
So
oh my god, that's gonna be great. So
Falls
they're gonna
Count
be all
Anywhere
in our kitchen. Yeah.
In a city park. I mean, they're gonna go fight on the. They're gonna go find the jungle gym.
Yeah, shit's going down on the swing set. Let's go.
They have a lot of room to run. So
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
Yep. So yeah, the actual show itself is actually going to be on the baseball field because we can use their lights.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So the ring is literally going to be set up on the pitcher's mound of the baseball field in City Park. So we're all.
Are we going to be? Are the fans going to be in the bleachers, or is it going to be seating around the
everybody on the field? Everybody onto the field.
Even better.
Everybody onto the field. Yeah. The only place that we won't be is that we're going to have the talent to come in behind home plate.
Oh, that's cool.
And then walk from home
cool.
plate to the ring from there. That's going to be the entrance ramp.
That's going to be a really good looking. If for those of you listening who aren't going to be able to make it, IWTV or on Journey to Anarchy, that's gonna be a good looking.
I hope so. I think
That's
it'd
gonna
be
be
fun.
visually stunning.
It's
Like
gonna
I'm looking forward to this.
I'm like, shit, can we do this? I mean, you have to take away a baseball
Yeah.
field from somebody. Can we do this like every spring and summer thing? Just do it at the ball field? That's a great idea.
Honestly, since they do special events, it's not the worst idea because I mean, everybody can bring for anybody who's listening, you can bring your own lawn chairs. But I mean, think about how much space we'll have if this thing really draws like a lot of people. Because again, it's donations, but admission's free, so we got the whole outfield.
Yeah,
like we could fill it with
hundreds
lawn
of people.
chairs. Yeah, and still be safe too. By the way.
Yeah,
Like,
I have
still
a
be
ton of
safe
lawn
as well.
chairs, JJ. So if you need one, I got you.
I have my old. I think I have a fold up Steelers chair that I got back when I was a junior in high school.
I have a daughter in competitive sports. I got.
So yeah, you throw an extra chair in the back of your vehicle because I don't know if I don't think I've opened that chair in 5 years, so it's probably not the best condition. I'm just saying.
That's gonna be, that is a great card, by the
That's
way,
a
and you still have
fantastic idea.
surprises. Now, is there any surprises you're willing to leak to the public today?
Or tease. You don't have to
Or
leak. You
tease.
can tease.
You know what, guys? Not today. I'm gonna have to hang on to these. I'm gonna have to hang on to these.
Okay, all right.
It's too much. There's too much story implication, and so I don't want like anybody to really like be spoiled to that because we're running basically two main stories right now, which is the Rose Gary Howlett story, and the other one would be, of course, Kenny. Like those are the two primary things that are going right now. With other like sub things, we really do try to have some continuity with our shows, which is really hard in indie wrestling, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know if you're going to have everybody like month to month.
So for those of you astute listeners out there, he did give you a little bit of a tease because he said it is a big thing that implicates into storylines. So
that'll give you, and I gave you the storyline options. I think that's a fair hint.
So we've limited it down to there's something that goes along with one of those two.
Well, if you've been around, okay, now you got me spinning, because if you've been around Journey Pro,
let's figure it out.
as we have, we're gonna sleuth this shit right now. The Howletts always rolled deep back in the day. They were also part of a Team KO or something like that. They had Jake Durden, and then they also had the Royal Blood or Regal Twins, whatever you want to call them.
That's true.
So they could possibly be there. Then, of course. And
there is a tag team tournament starting next month. I'm just going to say that again. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Then on the other side with Kenny Alfonso, they have the fallout from who's going to take the fall with I can't think of his name. I just know it was Buddy from NWL. I'm not your buddy guy.
Evangelistico.
Yeah.
Evangelistico, that's what he goes by now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So could see that.
He occasionally appears as both. Like there's something really weird about that guy. Occasionally he like doesn't realize sometimes he's Buddy Shepherd and sometimes he's Evangelistico.
I love that. I legitimately love that. That's great.
So you got a lot there too. So
I'm
really excited.
That was my favorite. I got help with guys to do that. I got input from both Greg Jovi and Evangelistico. About how exactly to do that segment of Ticket to Ride, but that was exactly what I wanted. Like that made so much sense. Like let's play with the rule set here to make a conflict. Because one thing that as you watch it back, if it makes sense, is that like Kenny has a ticket already, and if Evan gets a ticket, then Kenny can enter the singles, and then Evan can enter them into the tag tournament, which is why he's like lay down.
Right. It does make sense.
Kenny's not interested in laying down. If Kenny gets 2 tickets, he just gets a better chance at one tournament. But that was the conflict that we wanted to get, and I wanted to present that option. And Jovi did such a great job of using his promo time to catch everybody up to speed, since it had been a year and a half since the last tag tournament got interrupted by COVID.
I know, right?
So he did a really good job of saying, "Hey, most of you people may not remember this, blah blah blah." I love that. I just want to put over Joe Biden
Oh
for a
yeah.
second.
Oh, that's
No,
fine.
I love Joe Biden. He gets good heat quick too.
Yeah.
Like he's phenomenal. He's great on the mic. Big
Yes.
fan.
And he had a big part in helping. Both he and frontman John did a really good job in helping that ending, and of course with Kenny's incredible talent and ability and where he was, all those things like really aided in bringing that to where it needed to be at the end, and that really made me happy. Just wanted you guys to know that.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
We enjoyed every last second of it.
So there's somewhere along there. So everybody read between the lines and trying to figure out where you are. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what your wild prediction is for any sort of swerve or surprise. Is it frontman Jaw coming out of nowhere to screw Kenny? Is it, Jovine and Jalistico, Royal Blood, or whatever the hell they're going on of now? It's probably not going to be them. But still, what are your thoughts? Give us some comments down below.
Lots of choices.
Yeah,
I mean, or it could be something we didn't even say. It could be something completely out of left field too. That's the thing that I love. It's like, who knows, right?
So also coming out of the Atlanta area, I mean, it would be almost safe to say like maybe a Dean Alexander could possibly be coming up.
Could be.
Who we ran into at FanFest, which I tweeted that at you guys.
I saw that.
It was really cool. Like I go, hey guys, get a picture and send it back home to everybody and let them know that we ran into you. And he's like, what am I supposed to do this? But okay. Yeah, it was really cool. And then we just started talking about his gimmick and everything that he's working on and how he tried to get on the Big Gay Brunch, and Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which by the way, we got to see Effie too for the first time. That dude's phenomenal. Brother
has me left on red.
Effie.
So he's very busy.
Yeah.
He's stupid busy right now. Yeah.
But so of course we'd love to see him. I tried to hit him up on Twitter afterwards, like, hey, thanks for talking to us. If you want to be on our podcast, let us know. Trying to get him because he's probably got some good stories because he does know a lot of people here and he's doing the AEW thing, so that could because he's Nightmare Factory, right? The Nightmare Factory.
He's probably Nightmare Factory. He gives a breakdown of his next schedule for the next couple of weeks, and it's like, okay, so you just live in a car now, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like I go Orlando to Atlanta to this to back to here, and then down Jacksonville to Orlando, and then it's like.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, he's those jerks really they also cheated tremendously at Ticket to Ride as well.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They absolutely did.
They did not abide by the rules of Ticket to Ride.
well, in fairness, I had an old football coach tell me, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So
your Christian college football coach told you guys to cheat? Come on, man.
It was just like when you're when you're in the trenches and you're in
he's
there.
trying to dig himself out now. Look at that.
No. When you're in the trenches, it's kind of no holds barred. Like you just can't get outside the body. But once you're inside the body, you gotta keep it close. And
I just grabbed Jersey. I mean, I grabbed Jersey inside, right around, underneath the shoulder.
Oh yeah,
that's
thumbs
right
up.
There,
thumbs up, so you can drive the car. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody does that.
Linemen here get into it.
Everybody does that. No, but everybody's holding on every play.
Oh, 100%.
No, everybody is holding on every play.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Every
All
play.
right, so that's the card for Journey Pro here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Edwardsville, Kansas, City Park. Free show. Bring your chair. Sit on the ball field. Donations there for, Wyandotte County Behavioral Health Services.
So
Wyandotte
close.
Center.
It's the Wyandotte Center. Which, if you're ever wondering, I've had this question a few times, and I want to say, well, because of Wyandotte County, because it is in Wyandotte County. So you'll notice, I have to address this because people have asked. They think I'm spelling Wyandotte wrong, because the Wyandotte Center is spelled like the native tribe, which is Wyandot.
Okay.
And not like the county, which the French obviously changed the spelling of to Dotte. So that is not me being stupid. That is literally how the original
How it is, people. All
Because
right.
Wyandotte.Nation, like small like reservation is downtown KCK because they seeded that cemetery. If you know where like the 7th Street Casino is,
Yeah.
that's the Wyandotte.Nation land. So
Oh,
that's actually where the name comes from.
that's cool. I didn't know that.
They ceded it to them because there's like a cemetery there from like the 16 and 1700s.
I mean, this was all their land, so.
Yes.
I mean,
So they gave them back like a tiny sliver of it, and they have a cemetery and a casino.
Wow.
Anyway,
all right, so
we're just going to do nothing but Kansas City history on one of these.
Yeah, I know.
I know tons of shit.
That's our secondary podcast here. You know, the history of Kansas City, and like, well, you know, Kansas City actually predates the state of Kansas, and you know, the Kansas City, Kansas is actually no. Yeah, the big donations is for a great cause, especially everything the wrestling community's been through in the past few weeks here. I mean, definitely well worth it. So bring some bucks, give it to them there, buy some dogs, buy some brews, and enjoy some good wrestling on a beautiful fall night. It's going to be fantastic weather, too. I'm so excited for that, Walter. It's going to be so beautiful. No rain.
I intentionally moved it to 8 so that we could be under darkness and have it be cool, no sun.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yes. It's going to be glorious. I
Because we
cannot
can use the
wait.
place till midnight, so
Oh,
let's
perfect.
try to not use it that long. But I would just want to be under darkness. I don't want to be under sunshine. I'm so tired of sunshine. Anyway,
especially for last week. So for those of you who can't make it, you're still live streaming this. You're gonna be able to live stream out at the park.
yeah, we're working on getting a multi-camera shot, but with the internet set up out there, that's not going to be possible. It's going to just be a single cam shot, but it will be seeable.
So single camera shot. That's twitch.tv/journey2anarchy. Give them a check out. If you can't make it live, 8 p.m. on Friday. Are they going to do a shoot and put it on IWTV then as well, or are you just going to do the single cam shot?
No, we're going to record it as well. We got our film crew out there as well.
All right, so then eventually in the next couple weeks or whatever, however long it takes to produce, basically, you'll be able to see that on IWTV. If you have not subscribed to IWTV, it's well worth it. You get a bunch of promotions from all over the place, real great stuff, including Journey Pro. So
it's true.
Check out too.
Yay!
All right, Jamie, you had one thing you wanted to do before we go.
Absolutely. So we've done movies. We've done music. It's time to do wrestling.
Okay.
So I want you to rank, because I'm a big move guy. I love me some moves.
Here comes the Lion Tamer. Look out.
Oh, shut up.
Is it just all Chris Jericho's finishers?
Yeah, exactly.
That's too long of a list, frankly.
I know. So what I was thinking is, like, if you could name your favorite submission, your favorite top rope move, and then just your favorite finisher of all time.
Okay.
Ooh.
This is a great question. All right. So do I go first, or who's up now? Who's up first?
Yeah. Yeah, you go.
Or do you want to do one at a time? One of the categories.
Yeah, we'll do one.
Let's
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we'll do submissions. Lion Tamer, you know mine. Okay.
Make it super hard, right?
Yeah.
Hit submission. I'm gonna keep it simple and say the figure 4 because I was such a big Ric Flair mark when I was a kid.
It's a great move.
It's a great move.
It is a
Classic.
It is a fantastic move. And since you went simple, I'm going to go super complicated. I'm going to go with the Chikara special.
Ooh.
Which, if you haven't seen it, everybody Google it right now.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's like the Mike Quackenbush double leg, double arm hold. It's very, very cool.
Yep, that's really cool. Wow. Yeah, you went deep for that one. I like that one.
Good. All right, I'm gonna do top rope. I'm gonna go start top rope because that's flippy spinny shit is my wheelhouse for sure. So
I think we know where this is going.
Listen to this podcast. Top rope move. Top rope. Spanish fly. All fucking day.
Yeah, avalanche moves count too. We're saying we can do avalanches.
Yeah, top rope move. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Spanish fly. 100% of the time. Love it.
Yeah, the Avalanche Spanish Fly is cool.
So good. Standing Spanish Flies are cool, but they look. I mean, the top rope ones are even better.
Yeah.
You see someone like Laredo Kid who did it on Impact this past week. Thing of beauty.
Yeah. Man. I am gonna go with the Rob Van Dam 5-star Frog Splash.
Ooh,
Like the way he
the
used
best,
to like
dude.
impact, like bounce
It's
off
so
of them and sell like he hurt himself when he
Yeah.
like,
jump up in the air 5 feet after he hits them. It's
it
so
looks so cool. So cool.
so good.
I'm such a huge RVD fan. I was a ECW mark. That's probably why I like GCW so much, because I feel like they're mini ECW. But yeah, no, 5-star Frog Splash by far is my favorite top rope move as well. But since you said that, I got to pick another one. And if I'm going to pick another one,
You don't have to.
well, I'm going to. I'd have to probably say just the 450 splash. I think it's so hard to actually get it done right, and
Okay.
when you do, it looks
yeah.
beautiful. Not a shooting star. I really love a 450. Like Chris Statlander's 450 right now is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or especially when like giant ass Too Cold Scorpio did it.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was the first person I think I ever saw do it.
We saw him do one. He fought Stallion Rogers at GCW in Chicago, and he did a 450 scratch.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a person that big. That is not a small man.
He's not. He's not a young man either.
No, Too Cold Scorpio needs to like really have more respect put on his name for what he gave to wrestling. That dude was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I totally thought you were gonna do the flying headbutt, Jamie. Gonna go straight Chris Benoit, but what a touche.
No.
What's the final one? Is
Your favorite finisher? Just finisher. You can go tag team finisher. You can just finisher.
This is the tough one, right? Okay.
There's so many good ones.
there are.
No. I don't feel like I can just give just one, but I'm gonna give one of the ones that I love to see. How about that?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go, and I gotta take it back to TNA days, right? 6-sided ring TNA days, seeing a nice, just portly Samoa Joe step in the ring and do a wicked ass muscle buster on somebody. Muscle buster. I mean, it can be brutal in the wrong ways, but I loved seeing him do that. So that's my finisher, muscle buster. I'm sticking with that.
So my memory is not so good anymore, so I could not remember the name of the move that I was gonna say, because I'm gonna go with something like newer and not like a super common one. I love Muscle Buster. That's a great choice. I am going with, of all things, can throw a wrench into things, Cedric Alexander's lumbar check. It's actually maybe my favorite.
That's a fabulous finisher.
Love
like
it.
the one he did on Candice LeRae, like just still sticks out in my head. Like he broke her in half, literally.
That cool shit that he does where he pushes off with his legs after like they make the impact, so they kind of like fly up into the air. It looks that's the difference between everybody else who does that move, who does that sort of like backbreaker variation,
right,
and his is the way that he like coils his legs up and pushes them at the end, because they like look like they fly off his knees, and I think it looks so cool.
Because Roderick Strong does a very similar finisher, the end of hearts, but it's like in reverse from what Kenny does, and
he does not do the push off. They just kind of
doesn't. They just kind of die flat, which
they kind of looks more like a code breaker than anything, only done on their back on rotating 90 degrees. Yeah.
All right, Jamie, which Chris Jericho finisher do you have for us?
It's not a Chris Jericho finisher,
What?
and it's not even a Shawn Michaels finisher, because everybody uses the damn super kick nowadays. No. So my favorite one probably of all time, and it goes back to one of Shawn Michaels' greatest opponents, and that is Razor Ramon's The Razor's Edge.
Razor's Edge.
Outsider's Edge. I don't know what it is about. Like, I love Ethan Page's like Ego's Edge, where he just like tosses him down. Like, that's insane. But the good old fashioned Razor's Edge, there's just something about it. Like, it's simple, it's beautiful, love it.
It's a good move. It's a really
Plus,
surprisingly dangerous to take too.
It looks dangerous as hell. That's probably why I like it so much.
Plus, when he started doing it, he was so much bigger than a lot of the other guys. He was one of the big guys, right? So it was.
Yeah.
I think that had, I'm not saying Ethan Page is a small dude, but he's not as tall as Hall used to be. So Razor Ramon. So that plays into it. It looks great when it's done properly. So
when it's done, yeah. Oh,
I'll take any crucifix powerbomb variation. Honestly, I'll take the ones with like the sit-out pins that they do a lot in Japan. I'll take like the tosses. I'll take the avalanche version. I'll take the ones where they like rotate them in the air.
Yeah.
Oh,
what
the
about
spinners? Those are so good.
Love that move. So that's a good choice.
Like a blue thunder bomb too is another like almost variant of that, which I really dig.
It's a lot of things you can do from.
I kind of wanted to do like a tag team move at first. I was kind of thinking of the 3D,
Yeah, everybody is thinking of the 3D.
It's such a great move, really. It can come out of nowhere. They do it over a table all the time, of course. But
well, dude, the Jurassic Express has got probably one of the nastiest ones. That Thoracic Express that they do with that flip over into a power bomb
that's kind of cool. I like Dark Order's Fatality.
Oh yeah, that's really good too.
Because he combines all of them. He's got him hooked up in the back, and then he does a top rope back, sliced bread on him with a sit down. I mean, it's a great combination, I think. So
it was.
Yeah, we could talk tag team wrestling all day long.
We could talk wrestling all day long.
I always loved, this is an unusual thing because Brian Christopher was only okay, but the Too Cool finisher where Scotty did the backbreaker and then Brian Christopher did the leg drop while they were over his knees looked really cool.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a cool move. Didn't look nearly as terrifying as Doomsday Device.
Oh no.
We've seen some nasty ones of those.
Yeah.
It always looks like somebody's about to get hurt.
I will say this: if you're going to be playing WWE 2K or whichever one it was around that time, I don't remember, and you're making your own character, definitely don't do Sky Too Hottie's Worm for your special finisher because it takes way too long to execute, and you will get beaten every one of your matches. I can tell you that from experience.
Yep. I could have an entire podcast with you guys about why realistic competition for wrestling video games doesn't work, which is why no ladder match has ever been fun in the history of wrestling video games with 6 people in it.
Oh, whatever. Yes. I've always came out on top. Like me and my buddies, we had a toy belt that we used to do, and I was always Shawn Michaels, and I always find some way to win. I would always, it's they get it to the last second, and I knock them off and just go up there and boop.
Right.
They get so pissed.
Exactly.
It wasn't real at all.
It didn't have a realistic flow to the matches. None of the multi-person matches like that really work like they're supposed to because,
And then you got later on in them, and it's anything that's a triple threat or above was impossible for it to finish.
Oh, exactly.
You'd have to hit 18 finishers in a row, and then you might win.
on both guys simultaneously because I mean you always the triple threats were just killers. So.
We had a house rule in for our No Mercy games that we played back in with my roommates back when we were in early on, and the rule is that you weren't allowed to, if you were being pinned, you couldn't touch the controller at all. So the only way to break up the pin was to have the partner
have the health.
That was the only way to make it even fun.
That's a good rule. I like that. That.
You couldn't,
because then you gotta pull your pins at the right time. Yeah, and then you just gotta.
Yeah, it is. But the partner could break it up. That would be the only way the pin would ever stop.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah,
we should have done that.
It makes it more fun for sure. Makes the tag matches and the stuff like that more fun.
Well. Speaking of more fun, this is a lot more fun. So, love talking to you, Walter. Thanks for giving us some of your time. Again, we do appreciate it.
Of course.
Check if you're not following Journey Pro, what the hell's wrong with you? At Journey Pro KC on all the things. Twitch.tv/Journey2Anarchy. Check them out. Not just for their live streams and stuff. They'll always have little announcements and things. I know you did a post Weekend of Journeys kind of wrap up thing on there last time. They do replay old matches sometimes, and people are on there, us included, just commentating one night, So give them a subscribe if you are on Twitch, and if not, we will see you at all of our shows are secret shows this Friday. One more time, 8 p.m., Edwardsville, Kansas City Park. Free entry. Donate money for Wyandotte Center Behavioral Health Services. So I actually got it right for once. So Walter, thank you very much. Anything else you want to say to the people before we adjourn?
Go fucking Chiefs.
Yes. In your face, JJ, even though
Or
your
Steelers.
defense got me my W.
Yeah. do you want? We can we can go and beat the Raiders for you next week if that's okay. Is that all right? Can we do that for you guys?
We'll beat the Ravens for you.
Okay, well, appreciate it. Deal. We'll see you guys in like week 12 or whatever it is. We'll worry about it then.
Yeah.
But go
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
That's gonna end.
Go Steelers. Go Journey Pro. All right, guys. What a wonderful time we had with Walter. That was great fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys are coming back to Journey Pro. Any of you in Kansas City or nearby? I mean, it's going to be at a baseball diamond. That's a glorious idea.
Yeah, the visual is going to be absolutely stunning. I can't wait for it.
The interest is going to be nice. I mean, talk about room to spread out. You don't have to worry about delta or lambda or mu or nu or whatever Greek letter we're on now.
Or Mewtwo,
Yeah, we actually talked about that at work. We had a whole Greek letter discussion, and that's half the team is like, "What are you talking about? What is that? What language are you speaking?" And I, being the old frat boy, I go, "Oh, he's talking, it's Greeks: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, zeta, eta, iota, capital, lambda." And it's like, I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah. Then I just went straight Orgasmo and go, "It's all Greek to me," And I think 2 people laughed. I'm like, okay, you've seen that movie. You get the joke.
Right. So, anyway, thank you, Walter. We appreciate it dearly. Definitely good to talking to you every time here. I know DJ wants to kind of get in on the fun here and do an interview with us as well. We definitely will plan on doing that. But we have a blast with Walter. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So we got a couple little things we want to get to before we're going to talk about AEW from last night. So first thing is, I know that this Saturday, Impact Wrestling is shooting one of their special shows. It's like a pay-per-view-ish thing. They're doing an all Knockouts show. Did you see this?
Yes, I did see that.
So it's Knockouts Knockdown. It's going to be on Saturday, October 9th. They're shooting it this weekend in Nashville. And they announced that Mercedes Martinez is going to be there, which I'm super pumped for that. They're going to have Christy Hemme there. She's going to have a major role. She hasn't wrestled in over a decade, and she was more of a valet anyway, so
yeah,
that'd be interesting. Mickie James is going to be on color commentary with Vita Scott being the play-by-play, and the ring announcers Mel Santos, all women all over the place. So it's fantastic. Knockouts, I mean, Impact, we talked about this last time. Impact doesn't have the views it rightfully deserves.
Correct.
And this is one of the reasons why it deserves that, because they have a robust and a deep women's division. They started the women's revolution well before WWE did. And the main event's going to be a women's Monsters Ball in honor of Daphne. They might even call it the Daphne Memorial about Monsters Ball is what I heard is a possibility. So
that's cool.
I think that's cool. Yeah. So that's going to be good fun there. Now, a couple of nights ago, Jamie got hot at the beginning of today's show. He jumped the gun for sure.
Sorry,
guys.
Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, you had a good riff. I just wanted to say hi to the people first. Is all I wanted to do.
They don't want pleasantries. They want action.
They want action. They want a Brunette Mandy Rose, which apparently, I thought I didn't think it was that bad. I was like, it's just different.
I'm just saying it caught me by so much surprise. Okay. First, you have LA Knight job for Rick
LA
Steiner
job to Rick Steiner's son, who didn't even come out to the Steiner brother. I mean, why is he not called Steiner? He's Rick Steiner's son
and
in real life. Why is he not? Why is he not, Rich Steiner or, Butch Steiner or Brock Steiner? I mean, Steiner.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Anyway,
Yep.
I'll tell you what I did like from NXT 2.0, which interestingly enough, their ratings were up, but not as high as you would think. We'll talk about that next Tuesday. So I did like the layout of the Capitol Wrestling Center.
I did too. I really did. That was a cool layout.
It was cool. It was a lot brighter, of course. We knew that was the whole thing. Brighter, big colors, big splash, the whole 9 yards. The entrance had a nice big Titantron thing, but the way that the fans were laid out, it felt like an indie show of sorts. So you kind of was like one of the earlier iterations of the Impact Zone.
That's a bad word in WWE.
Oh,
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
say indies.
They're a developmental brand. I apologize there.
There you
Yes,
go. Much better.
But
much better.
It was laid out actually pretty nice, I thought, for that stage. So that's a plus. Yeah, they did have Brock Little Steiner. I don't even remember how his name was. They had so many, which good and bad, I think of it. They had so many, like development, young talents they were pushing on the show. They had promos for guys you never heard of. That's like they. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw this thing on Twitter or not, because I know you didn't watch the whole thing, Jamie. But they had, and I sped watched through it just to see what it was about. But they had this guy, Chicago's greatest export, which I'm like, that's not true. But it was this like just hardcore Tony Soprano as Chicago Mafia character. He pretty much did everything except say gabagool, right? Which is not even really a Chicago thing, but total just Chicago Guido looking guy. That it's like, who is this? What is that? Kyle O'Reilly got jumped at one point in time by Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland, and he was replaced by some massive man. He made his like in-ring debut in the 4-way for the NXT Championship. I don't even remember what his name was.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a massive push, is what I read. Whatever that dude is.
What I read is that the uppers see him as potential WrestleMania main eventer in the future. This guy's had one match in professional wrestling. Let's slow the F down. Okay. But this is the direction that, Dunn and Vince and Bruce are looking at. They don't want wrestlers. They want good, actors so they can make into wrestlers. This is the thing.
They want
That's legit what they said. They want entertainers. They had Carmelo Hayes came out with a buddy now. I don't even know what that's about. It felt like they took like another black guy backstage and like, you're with him now, go. Maybe they actually did. Maybe they were friends in other, I don't know. But it came out because he has the contract from the whole Breakthrough tournament, right? And he's all being like good boys. I mean, his buddy's trying to make him hard and, and trying to make him to a heel and all this stuff. So he's heel now, I guess. So there's that. The women's title match got axed for some reason, and they had a women's tag match, which became a women's triple threat. It was Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, who are getting a big push, and I will say kudos to them for that, because they put in their lumps for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But then along with Saray versus the new stable, if you would, of Mandy Rose, JC Jane, and Gigi Dolan. Toxic Attraction is their moniker, which that's a bad name.
That is a terrible name. Toxic Attraction.
Toxic
Attraction. People
will
love it.
So many different ways you could go with that, and you went with Toxic Attraction.
I mean, Thick Attraction would have been fine.
Settle down there, Jamie.
Beautiful Violence, something like that.
Beautiful Violence would have been fan-fucking-tastic. Let's be honest. That's great right there. Yeah. Stop where you're headed. Beautiful Violence. It is what it is. But yeah, Mandy Rose Brunette, by the way, so there's that. He had a 4-way match for the vacated AEW or NXT title, which is legitimately a good match.
It was.
You had Homer, or whatever his face was, which it turns out he can actually wrestle pretty well. LA Knight, who did the jobbing earlier. Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne. Pretty good match, back and forth, lots of near falls, good spots. Ciampa regained Goldie. So there's that. And then you get to the reason that really I even really watched, and the only thing that Jamie did watch, which was the InDex wedding. Wrestling weddings.
It was amazing. It was actually.
It was so good.
It was one of the better wrestling weddings in recent history. Like, let's be honest.
Put a pin in that thought here. We're gonna get back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
So, Austin Theory's back. First of all, he came back and he brought a priest with him. That'd be Damian Priest. And Damian just came to drink champagne. He busts out, and so all the groomsmen are dressed like Dexter with like the black thing with the gloves.
Good. I love that.
Because Odyssey Jones, Cameron Grimes, who's paying for the whole thing, and Austin Theory is the best man, and then all the women were bridesmaids. Cora Jade wearing her Converse All Stars. I did appreciate that, even though whatever. And then you had Johnny Gargano, bringing down Indy to the ring. They had all the wrestlers like in the ring filled up, which was great.
Yes.
MSK was front and center because they're such good, like demonstrative performers, and Kushida was there looking confused as all hell, as was Io Shirai.
I was gonna say Io.
As was Io, but they had a whole bunch of people. They had Casey and Caden were there, and grizzled young veterans, and the whole 9 yards, right? So they get going, they start doing the wedding, and they're doing the ceremony. Anybody here object? Everybody raises their hand, and Dexter just turns to them, opens up, because part of what they did for the bachelor party the week before apparently was axe throwing. I didn't watch the week before, but they like axe throwing, one of those axe throwing bar places, and so he had an axe in his jacket pocket and kind of just turns to everybody, and all of them put their hands down. And so they go through, and he does their vows, and then the priest or the officiant goes over to Dexter to ask for his vows. He just goes thumbs up. Yeah, and he just and the officiant can't come on, she just poured her heart out to you, which definitely dropped some sexual innuendos in the middle of it, which got Johnny all hot, which I love. Just that alone, I love for all this.
People call him a freak, and I'm like, yeah, he is. It's like, damn.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but you're a freak in the best way. The way you do things. And that one time you snuck into my room, and Johnny's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. And Dexter covers her mic like, shh.
You don't want to go there. It's so good. So anyway, the priest is getting all on Dexter to give some vows, and if you don't know, Dexter has yet to say a word inside of NXT.
Yes, not a word.
Period. Since he's been in WWE, he hasn't said a word. So he does his little like submission move and puts to sleep the officiant. Well, who's gonna fill in? And everyone's like, Johnny can fill in. Indy says, and John's like, no. So they all turn into they start chanting for Regal. Like, Mr. Regal can, and Regal just on the outside. No, I'm not doing that. I really thought they were going to force him up there. But here comes somebody who went online the night before to get ordained through one of those internet ordinations. It is Beth Phoenix, the #1 index shipper, comes in to fill in the place. And it's only fitting. So they do the rings, they do all the thing. And then, Indy, do you do this? And then, Dexter, do you take this woman to be your wife? Okay, I guess we're going to take that as a yes. And then he covers up Phoenix's mic and just goes right into his microphone. I do. And the talent in the ring lost their ever-living minds. They sold it like hell.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was great.
And they get married, they kiss, and that's the end of the show. That's the end of the wedding. There was no other shenanigans, amazingly enough, and the wedding went through. We'll see where the fallout goes long term. Wrestling weddings, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was a general good moment. The show doesn't end with that, though. It ends backstage with Ciampa and Goldie sitting there and watching a monitor. He's kind of clapping, and then he's you're caressing Goldie, and he gets confronted by little boy Steiner and stare down to end the show. What the fuck are you doing? This is that was actually an entertaining payoff for this storyline. You've actually been running for several months here. one of the few good things you have left on this program, and then you cut away and you go to this. Not Ciampa. Love me Ciampa as champion. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same. Yeah.
Little Steiner, really?
Yeah, he's been there for 5 minutes. So, yeah, let's give him a push right to the front.
I mean, you could have had, if you wanted to involve Ciampa in this, you could have had him come out and make a scene at the end afterwards going after Johnny or something like that, because, or even had him come out, be ringside to kind of clap and cheer, and Johnny goes after him for trying to like disrupt his daughter's wedding. That's the play. That's the payoff. That's the storyline, not fucking baby Steiner. So.
Well,
whatever.
Well, we're not 70-year-old misogynistic racist men, so we don't get that.
No, we don't. What we do get, though, is AEW.
Yes.
So let's pivot over to that, because last night was the Dynamite. We called it the go-home show because they did set up galore for next week.
It was 1,000% a go-home show. I don't care what anybody says. You fight me, okay? At JFaulkner56 or at Total Spotfest on Twitter. Fight me about it. It's a go-home show.
Do you want to make a mention, though? It was at the Prudential Center, which we talked about this in relation to St. Louis last time, right? Mm-hmm. Prudential Center is where the Devils play their games, mm-hmm. and that's once upon a time. So they've moved up to the big boy arenas now.
Yeah, that's a big boy arena. Plain simple.
At the big boy arena, they had 13,000 easy sold out.
Yep. So the very first thing that they do on this is not a match technically, is announcing that CM Punk is going to be on commentary, and he comes out, gets a ginormous pop like he always does. He feels he's the person that people want to see. There you go. But then you do get a match, and it's a match. Frankie Kazarian against Adam Cole, baby. Boom. This match had everything you wanted. Like, I had a Panama Sunrise, which, I'm in on. You got his Shining Wizard that he does. It was...
You had Punk calling him Florida Man at one point.
Calling him Florida Man.
Thank you. I kept saying how much he wants to face Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Just dropping those seeds. Just dropping them.
Yeah, and he says that he's very interested in, because Adam Cole said he's in wrestling because of CM Punk. So
yeah.
So that's a big piece.
Yeah.
So after that, you have story time with Adam Cole, baby, and he just goes right after Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and he wants to take them on with the Young Bucks at Rampage Grand Slam.
Which, when he said that, I go, wait, he has those mixed up. He probably just didn't say the right thing, because Grand Slam is next Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
He said something wrong, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought.
No, because, ladies and gentlemen, next Friday's Rampage is going to be Rampage Grand Slam 2 hour special. And it's going to be headlined by a trios match of the Super Click, Young Bucks and Adam Cole, baby, versus the the Jurassic Express and Christian Cage. Sorry. Yeah, because Luchasaurus, it just gets me every time. Every time.
I hear you. Yeah, so, I mean, you think about it. Grand Slam, 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Four. Yeah. Should have seen it coming, right?
Yep.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
All right, so then the Lucha Bros call out the Butcher and the Blade, and they used to be family, everything. They have a match going on in Rampage.
Mm-hmm. This Friday's Rampage.
Yes. Sorry. Fuego del Sol got a new car, and he's putting his wheels on the line against Miro in the TNT rematch on Friday. I love it. So
he got himself a new Hyundai Elantra or something. Yeah. Maybe it was the Santa Fe. I don't know. But yeah, it's like, I'll put my Hyundai up, and it's like, that's a bad idea, Fuego. And egged on by Sammy too. Sammy did him no favors. Sorry, Sammy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was great. After this, you had MJF with Wardlow come out, and
Woo!
MJF is the greatest on the mic right now. I don't care what anybody says. I know he's 22, 23, whatever it may be. Dude's ridiculous. Like, he cut the promo against Brian Pillman Jr. and he says that he wants to talk to his father. So he starts looking up into the heavens and starts talking to him. He's like, no. And he looks right down like he's looking to hell.
Who am I kidding?
Yeah, who am I kidding? And looks right down. And he starts just going off on Brian Pillman. And then he goes off on Metheny again about, birthing such a terrible human being of Brian Pillman Jr. Then he starts to do the "I'm better than you" and you know it, but then Pillman's music hits and he sends Wardlow up the ramp to cut off Pillman. Pillman comes in through the side with a chair, tries to hit MJF. By this time, Wardlow was able to get in, and then he slapped. He bitch slapped Wardlow, which I thought was great.
It was fun, and then he runs away because it's like, oh,
then he pulled down the rope to let Wardlow get out. So.
Yeah,
Setting that up. That is next week at Grand Slam.
I mean, MJF's got all the right heat too. He's super heat, but it's all the right. And I love JR was on point tonight too. I know you did. I know you weren't super keen on last night's episode, but JR was on point. He referred to MJF as the blister on the ass of life.
Ooh, I like that one.
To which CM Punk on commentary is like, "Damn, JR, we can go there on TNT." he was like, "Blister on the ass of life." So JR was on point. You missed it. They announced it a little before this too. Mm-hmm. Ruby Britt, hey Ruby, is going to be next Wednesday as well for the title.
Yes,
like everybody guessed.
Yeah, right? Like we all knew that was coming.
It had to be.
So right after this, though, I thought this was kind of not good placement. Was JR's interview with Brian Pillman right after this Brian Pillman MJF run-in? I just felt like it didn't fit. Yeah, it was fine. Talking about he remembers his father telling him his newborn son. Last week he was embarrassed and all this stuff, and he's going for retribution. Blah blah blah. It was fine, but it just felt out of place, out of sorts.
Did.
So Jurassic Express and Christian Cage accept the challenge, but oh my god,
just such shade thrown on NXT by Christian.
Oh,
such shade,
so good. It was, we know you're used to losing the Wednesday Night Wars. Why don't we add Friday to that? It was just like,
oh, just big,
yeah. And then Jungle Boy says, "See you at Grand Slam, baby," which I thought was great. Nice little touch.
Yeah.
Nice touch. After this, we had actually another. The matches were solid tonight. I will give them props.
I think all the matches were good. I can't think of a dud match.
Like I have a surprise on
here.
One of the matches I was very impressed with. I think you know which one I'm going to go with.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yep.
So this one was FTR with Tully Blanchard versus Matt Sydal and Dante Martin.
Who's not human?
He is not human. He does. Okay, so
alien.
Dante Martin did Dante Martin shit, but FTR wins because it's FTR. Okay, let's just get to the chase.
It was a good match. It was an enjoyable match.
It was very good. After the match, there's this moment where Sting comes out and Darby come out because they keep beating on Dante and them, and then there's a kerfuffle there. Basically setting up FTR versus Sting and Darby for Rampage Grand Slam. I believe that's what it's supposed to be.
I think that's what it's going to eventually be. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they put it on. It's one of the.
I mean, the greater storyline with all this is really something to do with Tully and Sting. Right?
Yes,
Tully started it last week. I mean, and Ric Flair's got to be involved in that somehow. I don't know how I feel about all this storyline. I mean, this is 2021.
This is super old dudes. Yeah, like
even Sting, who's in good shape, and he can still do some stuff, right? But he's not as old as Tully or Arn or Flair. Mm-hmm. But they're all old, especially wrestling old. Whatever. I feel like that's it, though. I feel like it's something to do with that.
So after this, CM Punk did happen to bring up what we were talking about, that Minoru Suzuki was upset that his music wasn't played in Cincinnati. He was very upset by that, and I love that. Well, then they cut to Lance Archer with Suzuki, and they have a major warning to Moxley and Eddie Kingston at Arthur Ashe. So they're going after him, which I am all for.
Now, you know that means, though, there's not going to be... Now, that's going to be on Wednesday, so who knows on Friday. But Kingston's going to be fighting that tag match on Wednesday. Probably not going to get a TNT title shot.
Which sucks.
And they more or less moved him away from the Miro story. You know, he had the title shot. It ended in a gray matter, so they could have easily rolled into a rematch. Maybe they're saving that for down the road. I don't know. It feels like they moved on for him.
Which, yeah, it sucks. I would love to see him win.
Good for Miro, though.
So after this, cue Malachi Black. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. It was really good for me. Fun.
I didn't expect this at all either.
Yeah, he enters and notes Rosario Dawson from the Big Show is standing ringside. He calls her out. She leaps over the barricade as Cody enters through the crowd. So Cody is back.
Calls her out because she's wearing a Nightmare Family jacket that says Rosario on it.
Yes,
so,
yes. Yeah, but I love Malachi Black, but you don't fuck with Ahsoka Tano. That's it. Like,
I mean, it's not smart. It is definitely not smart.
If you don't know what I mean, watch The Mandalorian, people. It saves lives. No, it doesn't. But
you could also watch Clone Wars and Bad Batch and all the other stuff. But anyway, I digress. We can go on that tangent for hours.
So they're setting up Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes 2 at Arthur Ashe. So that's going to be...
Which was the only match announced previously for Arthur Ashe.
Yes.
But they fight up through the crowd and people keep offering them their beers, and they keep grabbing beers and throwing them at each other the whole way up the stairs. I love it. It's such a Jersey thing, right?
It's such a Jersey thing. Yeah.
It was great.
It was good times. The Bunny's going to fight Anna Jay at Rampage. Marvez interviewed Anna Jay with the Dark Order. The Dark Order just keeps bickering. My God, come on, Hangman, get back, baby. Alex Reynolds showed back up, though, so that was great. It was good to see him. Congratulations to him on the birth of his new child. But she made it very clear, if they don't get this stuff together, they can't be at ringside. And Tay Conti appears to be the only exception, and those two walk off.
Right. Who Tay Conti's technically not part of the Dark Order yet. She never signed her papers. But the interesting thing about this, I have a couple thoughts because I got to stick with my Dark Order chick, right? So yes, we want Heyman to come back, but I have a tangent there. Evil Uno is definitely the one he's trying too hard, because the interview, they're all sitting around and Marvez is there, and he goes to and he asks the question and poses it to Anna Jay, and she says like 2 words, and then Dark Order or Evil Uno swoops in. Evil Uno is in the wrong for a lot of his handling, not for the decision to let Hangman go, because that was what Hangman wanted, but for a lot of his trying to micromanagement, he's in the wrong. I was going to say that. I love me some Evil Uno, but that's when Reynolds shows up and it comes in there, and yeah, so it's very interesting. I do want to make mention that on the 29th, so in 2 weeks time from yesterday, Dynamite is in Rochester, New York. Rochester is the hometown of one Mr. Brody Lee. Originally, that's where he was going to debut as the Exalted One. COVID happened, things we know, right? Somebody's no compete comes up shortly before that.
3 days.
I think it might be up right now.
3 days before.
3 days. And I'm just saying, how awesome would it be is if the former Bray Wyatt, now known as Wyndham, comes in as, because he has a history with Brody that you can kayfabe into storyline here, right? And in Brody's hometown, they come out and they're just getting all this, and you fade to black, and then here comes Mr. Wyndham, the whatever one, the dark one. I don't know, whatever you want to call him. And he can I would love, and once again, fantasy booking hour, Total Spot Fest every Tuesday and Thursday, folks. I would love to see him come out and he can still pull the Fiend double personality thing. When he's wrestling, he turns into a different type of Fiend, right? We've seen a mask teased, so purple and black, sort of different type of Fiend. But when he's not, he's Mr. Wyndham. He's kind of more similar to like the Eater of Worlds meets Mr. Brody Lee,
Yeah, which Mr. Brody Lee is a variation of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah. So I think that have that kind of philosophical, but still be, of the same ilk and style, suit wearing, very, as Mr. Brody Lee, the character was. I don't know. I think that's a great angle. I think that blows a big wrench in all the Hangman plans for long term. I don't know. Tell us, give us your thoughts. Dark Order, saved by Hangman's return, or is Mr. Wyndham going to be the leader of worlds to help them? What are your thoughts? Give us a comment, give us a tweet, let us know.
I would love to see in Rochester, New York, Adam Page come back right then and there and say, guys,
Hangman come back in Rochester.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of everything with Brody. I think that'd be good. But I like your idea too, so I'd be happy either way. But I think it'd be the perfect time for Adam Hangman Page to come back and bring the Dark Order back together when they were their best with Brody Lee, and then they have a tribute for him on there. Absolutely.
Right. I think that makes more sense. I'm just like, it's a thought because the timelines are adding up, and hey, what do we do here? We fantasy book. So all right.
Yeah, and we all know that Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda, he doesn't care about being the main eventer. He just likes to be creative and create art.
Right.
He's just like Malachi Black. He wants to create art and just be relevant.
And he's not been. There's definitely been more gray around him too, because there's thoughts that he's like he's not a done deal to go to AEW. We've heard people say that some people expect him, but other people say he's still kind of floating between Impact, as a possibility as well. Which if Braun Strowman goes over to Impact, having Wyndham over there, that'd be good for them as a whole as well. So. I don't know. Just a thought.
I would love to see him in New Japan personally. I think he would just flourish there, but that's just me. Super fantasy booking. All right, so after this, it is my favorite heel time, and Dan Lambert. My God, this guy. Why has he not been wrestling longer? Because, geez, he
seriously
is perfect. Like, I just want to meet him, shake his hand. Like, I don't know. You make me want to watch MMA again. Because I just want to see you cut heel promos on MMA shows, see if you'll do it. But he comes out there and just goes at it. He goes after the fans. He's backed by all of his American top team, which with Paige Van Sant, Junior Dos Santos, and the other guys, and the Men of the Year, and straight calls out everybody. Then boom, cue Judas. Hager and Jericho come out. Yeah.
Jericho answers. Of all people, Jericho's the one that answers.
And
didn't see that coming.
I love it though, because now you get the Jericho rub on Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Yes, please.
Oh yeah.
Yes, please.
Well, and he came out. First of all, Dan Lambert to this line that you guys, he keeps talking, and he keeps like throwing that little dig about little guys, right? You guys like seeing these little guys. It's a dig at WWE.
Yeah.
But he's like the thing is, you could tell more. He made a merch reference too. It used to be when I was growing up, whoever's shirts were selling, those were the guys who were hot. Now you can tell who's the popular guys, because you can go out there and you see all their shirts and they're sold out in men's size small and women's size extra large. and then said that all that we the AEW fan want is for some 87-pound man to get up there and then they super kick each other for like half an hour and then have this guy climb up 3 stories stories and do a triple spinning backflip onto a guy through 6 tables, and then just to have him kick out at 2. And I'm like, yeah, I would like to see that actually.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, you described me perfectly. Thank you.
And then he cuts off Judas. He cuts off Judas as Jericho's coming out and says, "These idiots don't. You don't want to hear. These idiots don't even know your song unless they're looking it up on their cell phones." To wit, this New Jersey crowd said, "F you." And they sang the rest of Judas. Actually, they sang all of Judas. They restarted it, sang the whole thing loud as hell. The crowd was into this, which I love.
Jersey crowd was hot for AEW, and that speaks volumes to the movement that is AEW. Mm-hmm. To crack into the East Coast like they have
in an NHL arena.
Is impressive because we all know the East Coast, that's WWE territory, especially
that's
up there.
Where,
and man, that's
where Vince Senior ruled. I mean, come on,
legit. That crowd's like, Vince who? Right. It was awesome. It was so good to see.
So good.
After this, we got a little vignette of the Gun Club, and
real fast, you skipped over the last part. So they did set up though, so it's going to be Jericho and Hager taking on Men of the Year. I want to say next Friday, maybe it's next Wednesday, one of the Grand Slam next week.
Yes,
they're going to
during the Grand Slam pay-per-view event.
During the Grand Slam, and Jericho did get them to start singing. The only song that they would hear for your interest, Dan Lambert, is "I'm a fat faced dipshit, yeah, yeah, yeah," which he got the crowd to start singing that as a song too.
Perfect. So then we have the Billy Gunn and his sons, the Gun Club. They do a quick little vignette. It was not bad, honestly. I
don't mind the kids. I mean, they're green and they're young, but Austin Gunn's got a great personality, whatever. The other, I can't remember the other one's name, but Colton Gunn is a 30-year younger version of Billy. I mean,
yeah,
he is. So
he's just skinnier. Like he didn't take the drugs to make him grow big like his dad did.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Thank you. So we'll see what happens there. So after this next match was the surprise match of the night. And it was Jade Cargill with Money Mark Sterling and against one legit Layla Hirsch. This is the most wrestling I have ever seen Jade Cargill do, and that is all of her matches combined.
Correct. And she did not look bad in most all of it.
Like, she impressed the shit out of me. I'm like, oh, maybe she's a lot better than we've been giving her credit. Like, I know I've been really harsh on her, not Hirsch, but harsh on her. Because, she's the 3 moves of doom type of person. Like, she's got the...
Yeah, she comes out into the Goldberg 98 match.
Yeah. She does the big pump kick, and then she does
boom, boom,
does
done.
the implant buster and call it a day. Or not the implant buster. It's
the implant buster.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, whatever she calls it. But Layla Hirsch looked really good too. They put on a great match. It does end up with Jade Cargill getting the win, but I have to give my hats off to both these women because it was a great match. Way better than I was expecting. Maybe I was a little harsh when I said I didn't think I liked this show because now I'm talking about, I'm like, man, this show was actually really good.
This show actually, he's like, it's all set up. I didn't really care for this show, whatever. And I'm just like, I loved this show. I like this show better than last week's show. Mm-hmm. And last week's show actually had Ruby Soho on the show. Hey, Ruby, which of course, is, whatever. So I think this does good things for multiple fronts. The women's division, yes, because now, up until now, we'd be like, yeah, she's up there. She's ranked high. She hasn't lost yet. But look at her, right? Now I can legitimately look at Jade Cargill and say, like, I have faith now. You could fight Ruby. You could fight Thunder Rosa. Mm-hmm. And I would look forward to it.
Yeah. Like, I want to see her take on some of the more mid-card girls. I like to see her, like, and Jamie Hayter go at it. Because
Hayter be good. Her and Nyla Rose, I want to see what they could do to each other. They said they laid that, they planted that seed at the Battle Royal.
Yes.
They were teamed up, and then Nyla turned on her to eliminate her. So
I would love to see that.
She can now wrestle, so let's see what she can do with Nyla.
Yeah, so excellent point. I really like that. So after this, we had Andrade El Idolo and his assistant Jose. Finally got his name. First time I think I heard his name. Like, hey, it's Jose. Talking about like he didn't give the order for them to interfere, and he can beat anybody in the roster at any time he wants. And he is the kingpin, and there's no one else. I really like to call himself the kingpin. That's a very Will Ospreay.
Kingpin's very good. That's gonna be absolutely. And Ospreay Andrade. Ooh.
Yes, please. Nipples got hard just thinking about it. All right. So after this, they cut to CM Punk, who's just giving thoughts on Andrade as a talent and all this stuff. And here comes Taz and Hook. So evidently
they're moving Team Taz off of Brian Cage.
Well, thank goodness for that. Even though they didn't use him again, which probably pissed off his wife. But so Taz is just going off on him. He's like, man, and like CM Punk's like, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, Hobbs comes out and just attacks CM Punk from behind to set up Punk and Hobbs at some point. It was not announced for Grand Slam, but I think they did announce he's going to respond to it at Grand Slam.
They did announce it for Grand Slam.
Oh, they did? Okay. I must have missed
Friday night.
Okay.
For his first televised match in 7 years.
Oh, cool. That's going to...
He's going to, so part of the card they announced at the end was that he's going to address New York on Wednesday because Friday's his first televised TV match in 7 years.
Okay, that must have been when I had to restart my damn Fire Stick.
Yeah, you had, around this time here, you had a little, you saw the next match, right? Is after.
Yeah.
The next match is FTR.
Yeah, and that's when all the stuff happened with Sting. And them. I put that earlier, and I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
so Sting Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard versus Darby Allin. Good match, actually. Darby gets the W.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a really good match. Sean Spears is really damn good. After the match, that's when FTR comes out and confronts Sting and Darby, and they just start beating the hell out of them to set up the tag match at Grand Slam Rampage, I believe. So yeah, it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Then this is where I got screwed.
This is the weird thing now. So then Bryan Danielson comes out for a Tony Schiavone interview, and crowd's been fantastic all night. So he comes out, and almost not even 30 seconds into it, here comes Don Callis with Kenny Omega, and this is where JR had his second great quip of the night, because we referred to Don Callis as he's walking to the ring as the ice water enema Don Callis.
Nice. Beautiful. Perfect.
So good. And then they come in, so they interrupt him, and they're going back and forth from each other. The crowd just keeps chanting piece of shit every time Don talks. It's fantastic. And Daniel keeps playing off of it and keeps calling him a piece of shit. And there's more shit involved in this segment, than you've probably seen on cable TV in like 5 years worth of watching, right? It was great, the stuff that AEW gets away with. So Danielson then goes up and he's like, I want to talk. I'm not here to talk to you. I want to talk to Omega. And he's like, he talks about how he wants to do this. He wants the best bout machine. He wants the god of wrestling. He heard about all this, but all he looks here is he sees somebody who surrounds himself with a bunch of piss at sidekicks and lets a piece of shit be his mouthpiece or something of that nature, and just digging under the skin of him, and then tells him, I don't want to go for the title. I just want to go against you and see who's better. Which, thank you. I love this, because that was my worry, is that with Cole and down, they didn't do it with Cage right away. They built him up properly to give him the hype to get into the main event field, and he's now pulled out, which is perfect, right? He popped in, boom, he's out. I figured they're just gonna push Danielson right into the middle of it, title feud. You're gonna do the WWE thing. He's straight up, don't want the title. We can talk about that at a later date. I want to see who's better. So he's going on this pure wrestler motif, which is great. I love it. He challenges him to a match. And begrudgingly for Don Callis, Omega accepts. So that's going to happen next Wednesday. Yeah. 3-match city. It's a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view on TNT. It really is. This is a free match you're getting on television. Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega.
My nipples are rock hard. Rock hard.
Did you see Miro then after that, or is your stuff still fishing out?
I caught the tail end of Miro.
Miro comes back in and says that generally most people, after I get done, after they redeemed by me, they run. And here you are taking the sword that I spared you with and putting it up to your neck. And then he accepts the challenge and says that he's going to break him, then he's going to break his car, and then Fuego's family will rejoice at the Redeemer.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it now because Fuego is the most. Fuego's gonna win. Fuego's winning. The most over man in wrestling right now.
That'd be one of the ballsier things to do, and I love it. And you can drop the belt off of Fuego
instantly.
Right.
Yeah. It could be on Friday.
Sorry, Fuego.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fuego. But yes, that would be awesome.
Like, that would be insane. And you know what? I bet Miro would be down with it because he seems like that kind of guy. Like, he's over right now, and it would make our feud even better. Where we just go, like, I take it back from him, and then I just absolutely bludgeon him, and then you set up another feud with me and Sammy.
We would get to see the belligerent Redeemer, the angry, vengeful Redeemer, instead of this like holier than thou Redeemer.
His belt? Like, oh my God, yes.
Exactly. What would that Redeemer? That would be it's already fantastic. He's on screen for 30 seconds every other week, and then he has a match like once a month, and we can't stop talking about him because his character work is that good. Imagine if you give him more ammo to work with. What?
Yeah. Oh, like I'm calling it now. Mark Stradamus is calling it now. Fuego del Sol.
You're calling Fuego champion.
Gonna win. I want it. I want it so bad.
Let's go with the Tornado DTD.
Let's go. All right, main event time is Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley coming out to Wild Thing. Not that version though. I wish that'd be really funny if they did. The Tone Loc version. That'd be so good.
That'd be so funny.
Going against 2.0 with Daniel Garcia. So as we always know, Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley come out through the crowd, and 2.0, like they've been doing lately. Also, 2.0 is the new BTE champion. They go after Mox and them. They try to get him from behind, but Mox and Eddie are ready for him. Good match, actually. It was pretty damn good. We got to see the spinning back fist, and then the half and half.
We got to see more from this match than we got to see from 2.0. Used to be Ever Rise in their entire NXT run.
Yeah, and they're over right now.
Which I feel here they're over with me because I feel that now that I see them actually do stuff, and I'm like, they were so mismanaged because this is a good team.
Great team.
They have mic skills to boot.
Mm-hmm.
They got good presence. They have great chemistry together, and they can wrestle a hell of a tag team match.
I'm a big fan of them, so
I love them.
I'm all for it. As soon as they get some decent merch, I might get some because it's not so good right now. But that's not the big story of this. So Moxley and Kingston win. Okay,
of course they do.
Of course they do. Right. But that's not the big thing because right after that, Minoru Suzuki's music hits. I'm like, oh shit, let's go! And then he's casually walking to the ring, and he's got just a shitting grin on his face, which is total Minoru Suzuki.
Yep, they play the whole song.
Played the whole song. He enters the ring. Archer drags Eddie out of the ring and begins brawling. Suzuki and Mox start going at it in the Prudential Center, and they're all over. So everybody's going at it to set up Minoru Suzuki and Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston and Moxley at Rampage Or no.
It is.
It's-
I'll tell you for sure which one it is. It is going to be it's on Wednesday. It's on Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's on regular Grand Slam.
So far, you've got Wednesday night, Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes, Kingston Moxley versus Suzuki and Archer, Pillman versus MJF, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson in the rock hard nipple match.
Yes.
You have CM Punk live interview, Sting and Darby versus FTR, and Britt Baker, DMD versus Ruby Soho, A Ruby. Friday only has 3 matches thus far booked. Jericho and Hager versus Man of the Year, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Punk, and then Adam Cole and the Babies. Nope, that's a The Party thing. Adam Cole and the Young Bucks versus Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. So you'll get another at least 2 matches for Friday.
Yep.
From Fallout. There's no Miro on here anywhere. So depending what happens this Friday with Miro versus
Miro Fuego del Sol 3. Let's make it happen.
I mean, I think that'd be fantastic. And you can keep that on Thursday. Here's the thing, too, because, excuse me. Tony Khan said, and no, it's not the case, because NHL season, by the way, less than a month away.
Yes.
JJ happy. NHL is on TNT also this year, right? Warner Media put up some big bucks and got that Wednesday night hockey game on TNT. So that's why Dynamite's moving to TBS. And Tony Khan was adamant about the TNT title staying the TNT title, and it wasn't going to be relegated to be the Friday night title. I think we've already seen that's not necessarily 100% true, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine. But if he loses it to Fuego, like Mark Stradamus here called out, Fuego 3, maybe Kingston, because they're fighting on Wednesday night. Kingston is.
Wouldn't it be great if Kingston interferes to help Fuego win? Or Sammy? Somebody to interfere to give him the win? Oh, yeah.
I think Sammy's still healing up. He's because he hasn't been in the ring since.
Yeah, his back's still jacked. Off of his vlog, he keeps getting his back worked on a lot.
Yeah, so I think he might be kind of put on, slow down mode.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's what we got. So overall, I thought this was a great show. I really did.
In retrospect, it was a really good show. I guess I was just a little angry.
Well, you had a bunch of stuff going on. It's been a long week of work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Megan 3 belts, not going to be 4 belts. Did hurt her hand in softball, so you're taking care of your daughter and everything.
Yeah,
so
hopefully it's not a broken finger. Really hoping.
Well, it wouldn't hurt either way. She can't hold 4 belts at once, so I don't know if she can break all her fingers. All I care, doesn't matter.
You know what she can do? She can hold 3 belts. You haven't done that yet. Just saying.
Hey, time will tell. That's a friendly reminder here that coming up on the 23rd is our next belt contest. Mm-hmm. It is Impact's Bound for Glory. So I got another shot. We know you're basically out of this. You have gone full company man here.
Oh
so.
Man, if Megan wins, the FWO wins. The Faulkner World Order wins.
You're defaulting. You won't even take the win. You legitimately would have won all out.
Yeah.
You didn't change your 2 picks. You were 9 seconds off the time of the match.
Yeah.
If you would have kept them, you would have been the champion.
Yeah, and I would have finger poked and doomed it.
No, you can't. There's no finger poke of doom.
There is.
Okay, we'll get to that later on. So that's coming up anyway, guys, later on. I want to do one final thing here before we sign off. And I know that if you stuck with us through everything, the interview and all of our stuff here, thank you. I know it's been a bit of a longer one. We didn't want to break this up into 2 separate ones. Mm-hmm. It just, it's like when you put 2 separate things out there, people catch one or the other. And so, thank you for sticking with us. We do appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So, Impact fantastic. We're going to talk a lot about that next week, of course. AEW, that is. AEW fantastic. Talk about that. So InDex happened. The wedding of InDex actually went through. I was surprised. I thought for sure shenanigans going to ensue because it was a wrestling wedding.
Yes.
And those of you who know anything about wrestling weddings know exactly what I mean. So here's what I want to do.
Okay.
We're not going to do like the whole like Desert Island. Not going to do, feud faction or fired. But I just want you to pull out. What would be one of your most memorable favorites, most endearing, one of the ones you like the most, quirky, weird, whatever your criteria is. Give me one or two wrestling weddings that stick out in your head when I say that term.
Randy Savage, Elizabeth.
That's the classic, absolutely.
That's number one. Easy peasy.
That's top of the
lemon
list for
squeezy.
you?
Yeah, that is the most iconic and most memorable.
I think that really set the ground stage for what a wrestling wedding is for our generation and beyond, for sure.
It was iconic. If I had to go a second one,
Yeah, so iconic one. One of the ones that sticks out in my head the most, because it's one of the more recent ones, was Rosemary's failed attempt at a marriage.
oh, okay.
Not too long ago against Johnny Bravo. Was it Johnny Bravo? Yeah. Virginal Johnny Bravo on Impact Wrestling, where Johnny Bravo ended up getting shot. And you had Tommy Dreamer cosplaying as Hawk over him, crying out "Why" to end the show. It was the quintessential wrestling wedding. It was ridiculous on every level. I loved every second of it.
Another really good one. It's gotta be Kane's wedding.
Kane's wedding?
Yeah, Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, that one just cracked me up when I was a kid.
There was a lot of weddings WWE Attitude Era.
Oh my goodness! Hell,
It's Stephanie McMahon's twice, right?
Yes.
'Cause she had Test once.
Stephanie and Test, and then you had Stephanie and Triple H.
Right.
Which that one was really great, but it was a wedding thing. Like they eloped and she was drunk, and I thought that was just a fun little thing.
That was good.
And then Edge and Lita, but then Kane shows up. I thought that one was great. Like there were so many back then. They were just
Wait, didn't Lita have one where she was supposed to marry Kane?
Yeah, that was the Kane one.
Okay, you said Edge and
Well, no, remember Edge and Lita were gonna get married, and Kane came through the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Edge.
And then you get the bad ones. You have whatever the hell the Bobby Lashley and Lana thing was.
Oh, that was so terrible.
We didn't even talk about Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah, I forgot
The origination. Yeah. The Chelsea that was Chelsea Green, right? Her and who's now the Blade, or was that was Laura Van Ness? Sorry,
Yeah,
Laura Van Ness wedding. That was not the best time for TNA, but that was a fantastic wedding too. But with a little bit of kayfabe and with a little bit of non-kayfabe involved, because Allie, of course, is legitimately married to the man who is now the Blade. And
yeah.
I don't remember what he used to go by, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what he was called either. Ugh.
Never at all. I don't. So, yeah. Well, okay. So I just thought I'd get that. It's like it made me think about that as I was watching that the other night, because I fully expected shenanigans to happen, and there really wasn't. And I go, that's such a rarity for a wrestling wedding. So,
Right?
To what it's worth, there's only been one wrestling wedding in AEW, and it was just okay. The whole Kip Sabian thing.
Oh, it was fun. It was not great. It was fun.
Once again, it didn't really have lots of shenanigans involved with it, and I don't know. It was okay. I think that if it hadn't happened in the middle of the pandemic, it would have been better.
I agree.
All right, so we're gonna leave you guys with that here. Any final thoughts you have, Jamie?
Not today. Not today.
All right. Well, I know we gave you guys a lot here, but we're going to get you a lot more next week, because we'll be back on Tuesday to give you whatever. Was Jamie correct? Did Nostradamus strike again and Fuego del Sol become that TNT champion? We shall find out. We're also going to give you the recap of what happened at all of our shows or secret shows. The Journey Pro Kansas City show happening tomorrow night. Reminder, if you're in the Kansas City area, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, get your butts over to Edwardsville, Kansas. It's just west of the main metropolitan area. Edwardsville City Park. Bring a chair. Sit on the field. It's going to be great. We're going to watch some fantastic wrestling. Stat card. Thank you again to Walter for giving us some of your time the other day. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We appreciate all of you for watching and listening and sticking through this to the very end. Yeah, that's what we got. So we'll be back with more. I'm going to bid you adieu and say, Jamie, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got one word for you. Fuego.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.